Yeah, you know with KD and laughing stock niggas got that voice. In this crazy world, we gotta make a choice. They say Elijah swishy, but we're making noise. From the top of the charts, here the people rejoice. Stop being buck munchers, just get swishy with us. Join the laughter wave, make a fuss. Stop being buck munchers, just get swishy with us. Join the laughter wave, make a fuss.
Hello, everybody.
All right.
And welcome to another episode of Squishy Logic with your boys, the Squishy Logic Men. I am comedic babyface and everybody's favourite laughing stock, Kd Hinken. I am joined by the man of the hour here, the thousand voices. They are all in his buttocks, and some of them are in his toes, some are in his nails, some are in his second butthole. He has a fistula. He's not afraid to show you it.
I've got.
He is Nathan Parish.
I've got voices all over my head, in my brains, down my spine, in my heart. I'm a voicey man.
You're a voicey man. That's what I think of when I think of you. I think voicey man.
That's a voicey man right there.
I think that's a man more than anything. That's a fucking man, that is.
That's true. I am definitely one of them.
You are the definition of man.
I am.
Man, you are toxic masculinity.
Oh, I'm so masculine, it must be toxic.
All masculinity is toxic.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
So, okay, cool.
yeah. As we all know, by doing anything that is remotely a man's activity, you are promoting toxic masculinity.
Yep.
And so therefore you must be punished.
And I think it needs to stop.
Yeah,
I do.
I
don't think men should be allowed to be men anymore.
No.
And I think
it's rude that we assume we can.
I think it's rude that Trump has tried to tell me that, I can't be a different kind of man anymore. I can't be a shrimp doctor man.
You can't be a shrimp doctor man.
Can't be.
Can't be
Anymore.
Can't be a shrimp doctor man.
No. That's what I assume was one of the other genders in there. It had to be
shrimp doctor man.
That's the thing. What the other gender? I mean, I know obviously because that's my world. I'm just asking you. And
apparently, according to it depends on who you ask. There's either.
Oh, does it? Shockingly, does it depend on who you ask?
There's two genders.
Weird that.
There's either two genders.
You know what the normal answer is when they ask people and they don't want to go into it anymore. They say, "My answer: how many genders are there? There's at least two." Fucking come on, what are you saying?
Come on.
Smart,
no, but there's either two, there's either three, there's either 25, 78, 124, or there is no such thing as gender.
The fuck are you? What? What? You gotta elaborate on that now.
Did you not see there has been numerous times where people have said, no, it's not actually this amount of genders. How many?
Oh, I thought you had some kind of equation where you was no, it's got to be this, or this.
Yeah.
You had I don't know, the prime numbers of genders.
What?
I thought you had the prime number of genders. Oh, that's important. Well, I'm going to explain the different ones right now. We got into this because we were just before the podcast started. We started listening to I showed Nathan the rap song, including Roseanne, with Tom MacDonald and Roseanne doing Daddy's Home. Decent song. I like Tom MacDonald. I actually very much like Tom MacDonald. He's one of the few good rappers.
Someone else, doesn't matter. We're fine.
Took you that long to realise it wasn't from your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because WhatsApp just puts it all together and says, you've got this many missed calls and some of them are from these people. It's no, what's the most recent missed call, motherfucker? That's the only one that's important to me right now, and I will deal with that as soon as I am free.
Great combo.
Yeah. just in case the person who's calling me is watching, we'll get to you. Just a little bit busy right now.
And in case they are watching, oi, stop it. Oh, I just ripped my spliff. What the hell?
Why'd you do that?
Oh, no. Okay. I didn't realize there was so much fucking thingy at the end because I pushed it down, so it was good. It was a good rip.
All right.
Okay,
it was a good rip.
I thought it was a bad rip because I did it without thinking about it, and I looked down and I was like, wow, when I'm on autopilot, I'm a better stoner than when I'm thinking about it. That says a lot right there.
It says a lot. It says an unbelievable amount.
I love the art of road, right? I was weirdly enough, I was showing my mum how to roll the other day in the art of it, and she was like, she said it's like a freaking art, isn't it? I was like, yeah. I remember first learning to roll and thinking this is impossible, seeing other people do it. Like, that's impossible. How?
Weirdly enough, when I first tried to roll a cigarette, I sucked at it. Couldn't do it for shit. And I still couldn't for a while. And then when I got to uni, I was there, and a mate of mine just came in. Well, I wasn't even mates with him at that point. I was there hanging out with another mate of mine who was on the same course as me and was into the same sort of games and stuff. Hey, Ben, legend. But my other mate comes into the room while we're just sort of chilling there having a conversation. He's like, "Right, I'm gonna go smoke a doob. Does anyone else want some?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'll have a go." Like,
Oh, this is your first time.
Oh no! I'd already been with my punk band and stuff. We'd already been like, you know. Anyway, we go down, we go out and we have a smoke, and it's like, yeah, fuck it. This is what uni's gonna be about for me.
Oh, so that was uni where you really started becoming like a stoner.
Yeah, but he couldn't roll for shit. And like the first one he rolled, it was like this saggy thing, and he still can't roll for shit.
Some people. I know somebody that's just never been able to roll properly.
Yeah, and then this he goes like, "You have a go." Then I was like, "All right, I'll have a go." And I was like, "This can't be as hard as I'm making it in my head." And I rolled, and I found a joint was so much easier to roll because it's tapered, because it goes smaller at one end.
Yeah.
You're intentionally doing that, and it's not like a cigarette. It's got to be perfectly straight, otherwise the fucking, the filter falls out every fucking 5 seconds.
Oh, I've never had that with a cigarette.
No, well,
I used to.
This is the thing I used to when I was, but like ever since I sort of started rolling that, I started rolling cigarettes the same way. So I had really like compacted down ends on the cigarette and like a large chunk coming out.
You know what? I've always thought that the main thing with rolling, which I'm sure you'll probably agree, the main, like, it's gonna be a crap roll even now if you don't build it right.
Oh yeah,
like it's the building, man. It's like, like putting like the space in it, making it like cone as you're putting it in, like for a spliff, or for a or opposite for a cigarette.
Yeah,
you want like plenty in there, packed down. You want to imagine I'm putting too much in. If you're thinking I'm putting too much in this cigarette, that's normally the right amount, in my opinion. Because a cigarette's a cigarette.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I just smoked a cigarette. Honestly, I cannot remember the last time.
When I was in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam is the time you can remember you smoked a cigarette.
Yeah.
And of all the times you shouldn't be smoking anything but green, that's when you smoked a cigarette. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
You just wanted to smoke constantly.
Yep.
Fair enough.
What? I mean, it wasn't even that. It was just like we were sort of. You don't have tobacco when you're there. They don't.
Oh, you don't have
roll it with tobacco.
Yeah,
you have to use the tobacco substitute. So, no matter how much like green you smoke, there is still a part of your brain that's going, "God damn it, I need my nicotine fix, motherfucker." So, like, we did have to get a packet of cigarettes just so every so often we'd be like,
that makes sense. So that makes sense. I think I'd be the same there, to be fair. Well, I know I'd definitely be the same.
But it was so much healthier doing it that way, because it's like, well, I'm only having a cigarette when I really want a cigarette. I'm not having a cigarette just because I can't have a joint.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to have like a substitute to it. I tried a few different things and nothing really worked.
No.
And if they did, it just didn't taste like it was any. I like the
CBD.
taste of a smoke.
CBD cannabis does work really well as a substitute, but the problem is that police don't even know the difference really.
Yeah,
so you can be driving around with fucking CBD weed and they'll be like, "No, that's definitely weed. You're going to jail." And they'll like test it, test it. It's like, all right, fine, it's not.
Yeah. It would take so long, man.
Yeah.
I saw this thing the other day making out like us Brits are dumb because it's been legal in England for like since 2018. And I obviously don't want to buy legal medical marijuana.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yes, it's been legal since 2018, but only in private practices.
Healthcare. Yeah.
You can't get it on NHS. So the majority of people, because they're not rich,
can't afford it. Yeah.
And these people are just saying it all like, "Oh
no, but it's fine. Yeah, this is stupid." It's like, fuck off.
You're stupid.
Also, more importantly, why can't we again just be treated like adults? Again, that was the most wonderful thing about Amsterdam. It was just like, you're adults. You can make your own fucking decisions.
Man, I was saying to my mum the other day, I do talk to other people, I swear. I'm just done with this country, man. I want to get out. If it wasn't for her, I'd already be trying to like
Leave.
get out right now.
Yeah.
Like, because I know the boys will be fine and they'll enjoy being out with my kids. You know, will
Yeah.
enjoy them coming to see me in a different place. It'd be
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
for them.
yeah.
So I'm not worried about that aspect.
It's
Same
one
with
of
my
the
mates.
reasons
I
why
can
I'm
still see my mates.
learning different languages. Like learning German's a start, but I'm also going to try and learn other languages because it's like, well, what if I do just decide to live in Amsterdam for a bit, learn a bit of fucking Dutch?
Mhm.
You know?
I'm pretty much just thinking if you do that, I'll just follow you and then we can go to comedy places.
Yeah, just set up we'd literally just set up a comedy night, a
Mhm.
comedy fucking place.
It'd be nice having somebody you know around. So.
Yeah, and it'd be something where you're like, you can come in, you can smoke, and there's going to be comedy on. And when there's not comedy
not a thing?
live, we're just going to be playing fucking episodes of post-apocalyptic Metal Treehouse on big screens in the background,
And Squishy Logic.
and Squishy Logic and shit like that.
How is that not
Have
a big-
podcast studios up at the top of the fucking
and that's
building.
not. I remember this conversation now. That's not a big thing, is it?
No,
over
it's
there?
not.
Like, how?
Weirdly, it's not.
How?
Weirdly, it's not. They don't seem to
just not
cross
a
the
scene
streams
there.
on that. It's like, why don't you want people
Well, maybe
to
it's
smoke?
just not a scene because people. There's
I
not,
think it's because they
when the
think
people that live there, there's not much of a comedy scene. I
think
guess
most
'cause
of
you
it's-
need the people that live there to make it work.
you do kind of, but also I think it's like they all expect people to want to have drinks when they're
When
doing,
they're-
and you can't serve drinks and weed at the same time.
I can
You
understand.
can
that.
only serve one or the
I
other.
could understand why they
Yeah.
made that rule because the two do make each like more full on.
Yeah,
They do
yeah.
affect each other.
They do, and the thing is, it's like that makes sense, but I would much rather be in a comedy club high off my ass watching a
I think
fucking
most people would.
stand-up comedian because you are definitely gonna
Yeah.
laugh harder.
That's definitely like a
Yeah.
thing.
And the comedian's going to be getting high as shit as well, so they're going to
Yeah.
be getting wacky.
I reckon that must. Well, I still wouldn't get high to that. Well, I see though.
Although to be
because I'm
fair,
putting
their
on
air
this and I'm
conditioning
smoking
systems
constantly.
are absolutely phenomenal.
You'd imagine that makes sense.
They
So not
literally
hot
like
boxes.
you smoke and it's just
Yeah, you
gone.
walk in and it's not a haze.
yeah.
smoke.
There's no haze at all.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like they're proper nice establishments.
I reckon that's got to be what it is, though. They're just, or maybe there is a comedy scene, but they just don't do it much there.
Yeah.
Well, nobody, as we know with the comedy scene here, there's certain people that it doesn't, permeate the center a lot. It's the scene doesn't
Yeah.
that much. We have little things that we do in there, but nothing really stays as a constant thing there, does it?
Yeah, no,
I can't think of anything, just a constant thing in the center of town.
no,
I mean, mine lasted like 3 weeks.
yeah. They all seem to move or change or die. Or
It's because you know what? Maybe it's because there's so many different people coming in and out of those areas. Because it's where everybody from, you get people from all over Birmingham that you're going to offend people, and they get shut down. Like that's exactly what happened to my one.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's just exactly what happens to all of them.
probably.
I would not be surprised. That's all.
It's why the only clubs that seem to last or nights that seem to last for a long time are like LGBTQ plus nights.
Oh yeah, them. Yeah.
And women's nights.
Yeah.
Because no one
Yeah.
not being funny, but no one's getting offended
Yeah.
by anything a woman says or anything someone who's gay says or LGBT.
Gay especially. Yeah.
Because it's like, they have a license to talk about this stuff to a certain extent in people's minds. Whether that means that's true or not, or whether it means other people can't talk about that kind of stuff, I don't know. But I think anyone should be allowed to talk about any subject they can, provided they do it artfully enough.
Yeah. You
that
can do it. Doesn't mean that.
It's distinctly an entertainment piece.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference between someone who's trying to be funny and someone who's trying to be antagonistic.
Yeah, which isn't always that bad either. There is a style of comedy that I've learned that is like that.
Yeah, no, but even then,
Like that, that guy on Tico Tony, the ginger bearded guy, William Montgomery.
I don't know.
Oh, he's very. He comes down, he just starts shouting at people.
Yeah, no, but that's a different vibe. But
Yeah.
that's still obviously he's doing it for a bit. He's doing
I
it.
don't know when you watch it.
Yeah,
mate,
you don't know. Okay.
Like there's been a
Okay.
few times when comedians that are on the panel, like the fuck is this dude?
Yeah.
Problem.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
But carry on. So I see your point.
But you know what I mean? It's like if someone is trying to make you laugh, for the most part, it's pretty obvious. If someone is trying to make you feel like you're less of a person, it's pretty fucking obvious.
You could be booed off the stage though for having a crap joke and doing
Yeah.
shit. Like that's fine.
That's fine.
But don't be like, you offended me, so I'm going to stop you from doing comedy
Yeah.
or whatever,
Also, again, most of these nights, they're open mic nights. These people aren't giving
Yeah,
you
yeah.
crafted material. if you want crafted material, you're gonna have to pay for it because someone's put a lot of effort into making
That's the
it.
only way you could have a night that carries on
Yeah.
is if people are paying for it. Because then when they come in, if they paid for it, they're less likely.
They're less likely to, yeah. And also, like those kinds of nights, they're more sort of these are the people that we've got on as the headliner, and the headliner's more recognizable to people, so you get more of an idea as to what the rest of the night's going to be like. And if you're not into that headliner, you're not going to see the show. You know. But in an open mic, these people are just working on material. And quite often when you're a comedian working on material, you'll have something that you think is funny, and it is funny, but you're not quite at the right point yet where it is genuinely funny when you do it on stage. Because
it might not be funny too, though. Let's be fair.
and
Just
also
because it might not be funny.
You can also, you can.
That does
again,
exist.
my rule is still the rule of 3. If it's obviously not working after 3 and there's nothing I can do to repair it, I'm getting rid of it.
That's a good one. Rule of 3,
but like only if I find a way.
Yeah,
to
you're
make
taking it out. You
work.
set until.
Yeah, it's out of the set until.
That's good rule of 3 because when people do from one gig, that's
one gig.
You
is
don't
silly.
know. Then people will just not the right people.
Yeah,
because there's all different kinds of people in the world.
Yeah.
Well, and in, like especially in like a city like Birmingham here in England, it's got all different kinds of people, and then not just different nationalities that live here. You have people that come over constantly.
Yep.
Especially if you're in like town or so, you have people from like, different countries there as well.
Nothing wrong with that necessarily.
I never said the word. What did you bring that up?
Necessarily.
A bit more of Nathan's rampant racism coming out there.
Mr. Elon Musk.
Last week's episode all about Mr. Elon. Nazi or nice guy.
Yeah, and I just had his face there as well, so I felt like I had to say it to him. Yeah.
It's very similar to, well, not very similar to that exactly. Actually, I can't bother right now. Just his face anyway.
Mr. Elon
coming out of the shadows like an evil man.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, I just to recap on that, he's obviously not an intentionally evil man. He just has a very distinct idea about what the future of humanity is, and he's just putting everything he's got to try and get that done.
And I think it's all genuine. Do you see how like bottom happy he got as soon as Trump said one of the things they want to do is like, you know, go to Mars? He got so bum happy when he said that. Like a little kid, man.
Yeah. But I mean, that is legit. If Donald Trump is the man who sets off to go to Mars in his term, and at the end of his term they get to Mars, that could very well like solidify his
Oh yeah, that's one of those things.
Yeah.
That's from what everything I've heard, people that talk to him, that's what he wants from this
legacy, yeah.
From this one, is a legacy, something to be remembered for.
Yeah.
Like he was talking about how do I get my face on
but it takes
Mount Rushmore.
It takes like 2.5, 3 years to get to Mars.
Yeah.
So if he wants to do it, if he wants to be the guy in charge when it happens, he has to be pretty sharpish about it. Like he has to do it now.
Well, they just start, wouldn't they? Probably, I think would be good enough because it wouldn't.
Let's face fact.
As long as they leave, you know.
Not only that, but fucking SpaceX can launch that stuff now. They've got the fucking rocket.
Yeah.
They can do it easily.
They
need to send like 3 or 4 of those up in a convoy over to Mars. Use a fucking.
It's probably more about when they get over there, though. What they do now is what they're getting prepared because they've got the means to get there. But what do they do when they get there?
Elon's been working on that for fucking years, man.
Yeah, working on the idea, but the actual making it.
No, because they've literally got it set up. Their plans are that you launch that rocket, and it's got the big circular tube. Yeah. Well, in the big circular tube, there is going to be horizontally built an entire space hab.
Okay.
So in the rocket, it lands like that, standing up.
Oh.
So that once you land standing up, it's all the correct way, but it's built into it that way.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you can literally then just drop this thing down. It's big enough to carry everything you need for like a certain amount of people in it. Yeah, easily to have a hab in it. So you just launch this, drop it down. There's your hab. Go explore Mars.
Maybe they just haven't got that bit in it yet. Then ready. Just like, I don't know, maybe they didn't need, because there's a lot of
Oh
money
yeah,
in this.
I mean, there's money that's required for all this stuff, especially to develop it. And like the other thing as well
He's
is
cool
like
now.
if
He's
you're
in
going,
charge of funding.
yeah, but if you're going all the way to Mars, if you're going all the way to Mars, you may as well like at least leave a working base there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
you don't want to fucking just sort of go, well, you know,
But he wants to
3 years
populate
there,
it,
3
doesn't
years
he?
back, spent 2 minutes on Mars, and off we fuck.
He wants to populate it. And who said, as well, that like one can't leave to do it, and the other one can't leave, while they're building it and that.
Yeah, that's it. It's like you could.
Everyone has this
potentially-
idea that it needs to be one. There's one ship going back and forth.
No,
I'm
you
sure
could
it's more than
literally
one.
you could send a fleet of like 16 of these things all in one big chunk. 8 of them come back, and then like
Yeah.
Done.
It's when you really think about it, we are getting to that point where it's like the next line of like human life.
We have to do it because the fact is, as much as we like to think that the Earth is stable, it's not. The first ever podcast I did with you, where I
Yeah.
was doing the subject, was the one about the basalts, the
Yeah.
flood basalts.
The lava vessel.
That could still happen at any time. Anytime.
I can't fully remember what that was.
So it's
because
basically
I remember being a bit
the
confused.
core of the Earth has like
Lava.
a really hot type
Well-
of magma, which is even hotter than the type of magma that is on the sort of the outer core.
We assume.
No, it is. We know this for a fact.
How?
Because we can tell the temperature differences when this stuff comes up. For example, flood basalts. So
There
what
could just be a
happens-
microwave there. We don't know for sure.
It could be. But what happens is, basically, it's like a lava lamp. In most of the situations, these little bubbles, they'll come up, but they'll sort of go up a little bit and then sort of dissipate and fall back down and then fall back down to the main center of the core.
Yeah.
But if it builds up enough heat over time,
Or not the main center, the thing around the thing where Atlantis is.
yeah, because the Earth's got a radioactive core. in
Yeah.
it. It's producing heat from the center.
It takes
of
a
the
lot.
core.
Well, it takes a lot of power to run Atlantis.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Once this magma gets so hot, eventually one of these bubbles doesn't stop. It
Yeah.
just builds up heat and builds up heat and builds up heat, and it just comes out in this giant like bubble of core magma, which then lumps up against the bottom of the crust.
Yeah.
And this enormous, I mean, we're talking.
You just like a random bit in like
Yeah.
the crust, and not necessarily like a volcano.
It could be literally. It could be anywhere on Earth.
Guys,
this
so
could
just a
happen.
random bit of floor.
Literally, just a random bit suddenly
Uh-huh.
starts melting out.
Oh, Jesus, imagine that.
And
though.
not only that, but it's billions and billions of tons of magma, so it doesn't
To
stop
do it, you need to be a
for
lot. Yeah.
thousands of years,
Oh wow.
and it covers entire continents.
Oh damn. Damn. Poor old.
So it's a fucking planet killer if it goes wrong.
So has it ever happened, or has it just not happened?
It's
before?
happened hundreds of times.
Like only when the world was
It killed the things before the dinosaurs.
like okay.
It killed some of the dinosaurs in another one later on.
Yeah.
They barely survived, and then that turned from like one of the periods into like Triassic to the Jurassic.
Yeah,
whatever
because
it
it's
was.
more than just
Yeah,
yeah.
it
there's a few different
lasts
ones.
so much longer. Like there's more difference between a Stegosaurus.
I guess it wouldn't be over the whole world though back then.
Yeah, there's a bigger gap between a Stegosaurus and a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but then between a Tyrannosaurus Rex and us.
Yeah. I
Just
know
to
what you're
put that into perspective. So that's how long the dinosaurs were there, and what they experienced quite a few of these throughout the sort of dinosaur period. And then they had one giant one of these.
And the world was a lot more unstable back then. Too.
Yeah, and they had a giant one of these happen, which like wiped out almost all of the life on Earth. And then just as it was starting to get back, asteroid.
Oh, that was. I did know that name at one point, and I've forgotten it now.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Fuck it, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
get it right.
But like that is something that could happen at any moment.
Mhm.
Any
Both of them?
time.
Both of them.
Yeah, on Earth, and it could wipe out all of humanity.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. We do need, but I mean,
We
same,
ne-
you
if
can say the
we're
same for
on
Mars, too.
Mars,
but-
If we are on Mars, if we're on the moon, if we're on what's the ice moon of Saturn?
Oh,
Oh.
Sirius.
No, I think I don't know if that's
That's
as
one
well.
of them.
It begins with an E.
Not
You-
Equinox.
No, yeah. Whatever. There's one there that's literally just a giant
Unit?
ice. No, it's a giant
that's
ice planet.
that was
It's got a
storm. That was
liquid
storm
core.
recently.
It's got a liquid core because it's got a heated core. So
Right.
it's got liquid like oceans and then an ice cap over the top of it. And there's like jets of hot water bursting out into space. So it's definitely got like
Heat and
heat.
stuff. Yeah.
So-
that's weird. So it's like a world with like covered in ice.
Yeah, but also
So with
think
heat
about
under it.
where life comes from. We're almost like homing in now on the idea that life comes from space and it's just something that happens naturally if you give it enough time.
Yeah.
Because
And if you're very
asteroids-
lucky.
Yeah, because asteroids are covered in things like fungus and
Yeah.
stuff like this that from previous things and all this kind of stuff. It's like, and like tiny little bacteria, or not even bacteria, but like amino acids that can become bacteria.
Which is why if the whole planet, the whole universe, follows the periodic table, then it makes sense because it's the same kind of building blocks coming all over the
and
planet.
if it happens in one
the
place,
universe.
it happens somewhere else. And
Exactly.
all you need realistically for life is water, oxygen, and heat, or
Well, you don't know. No, it doesn't have
because
to
there's
be
other
oxygen.
options as well.
Yeah,
You can be
exactly.
silicon based. You can also have
We don't-
things that use ammonia instead of water.
If
as
there's
a
anything
liquid.
there, I think life finds a way.
Yeah,
Unless
there's
there's something that literally destroys it.
and that's
we'll
it.
find a way.
That means that there's almost certainly a form of life, whether it be bacterial or whether it be actual creatures
Oh, yeah,
underneath the
100%.
surface of that ice.
Yeah, yeah.
That are probably completely blind because there's no light down there apart from like if they created biological light, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
that's
by
crazy.
then, like, say if it was a smart
What if
thing.
that's what fucking Atlantis is? What if we were a spacefaring species before and Atlantis was actually just the space
Well, that's the
station
idea.
under the ice
That's-
in there?
That whole Anunnaki idea is that
Yeah.
we're spacebound and eventually that planet will come back into orbit and that's when they'll come back.
Yeah.
So if that, and we came from them, the Anunnaki came down and mixed their DNA with like the apes that were around at the time, and that's the missing link.
Yeah, and that's because what you literally
wanted
see in the
slaves.
fossil record. There's like a sudden change where people suddenly start seeming a lot like healthier as well around like
Yeah, and it's just their
certain
brains got bigger
moments.
like
Yeah,
really
yeah,
quickly.
Yeah,
There's a few different versions that maybe, you know, the stoned ape theory, which
Yeah.
is where we ate like
but
giant.
it's like there's like
hallucinogenic
various
mushrooms.
moments where it's happened since then as well. So if they could have been like tweaking along the way, like put a
Since
perfect
then, what do you
specimen
mean?
here, put a perfect specimen here. They'll spread out the genetic seed over there. That'll get over there.
I
There.
don't know
there,
about
there.
one since.
Although, they're apparently like that. That was in the ancient aliens. It was like Jesus was actually sent down, and he wasn't actually a virgin. He banged all the time because actually he was sending out like perfect genetic code to fix humanity at the time because humanity had been like broken down and like corrupted by like bad breeding and shit.
I like how you started that with, you know, apparently on Asian aliens. It's like, well, that's definitely going to be
100%
legit
true.
then.
100% true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know these are the beliefs, though. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot actually what you said now because it was so silly.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus had the perfect DNA.
Jesus the Dickinator Christ.
Well, he definitely banged. He definitely banged. He had a wife. I think that's definitely legit.
Yeah.
Did you know that apparently where he was buried was where he was crucified was Gesundheit. Gesundheit 2. Gesundheit 3. That's strange. Kind of weird if you had a third sneeze. That's like you're trying to have an orgasm or something.
No, I hate
something
them.
like that. I know
hate
you do.
sneezing. I hate it.
I know.
Wow.
Can't find my goddamn grinder.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh no.
I need.
It's the ball one, isn't it?
It is the ball
It's
one.
right
It's
there.
the
It's in
Dragon
me
Ball.
arse.
Oh, what? Where was that?
So was the lighter.
Oh, it's in your arse.
Yeah, my arse.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought I thought I just missed it, or you got it out of my arse and I didn't even realise. Just so everybody knows, once I've got this sorted, we are going to be looking at the story of the North Hollywood shootout.
Ooh.
But that's for in a moment. I want to get back to, before we do that once again, how do you feel Trump's been going so far? He was a dictator for a day, apparently, is what he said he was going to be. I think I missed that day, but
No, he was. He did a shitload of executive orders.
oh, is that what he would mean?
But like, you know,
Hey, he's supposed to do that?
that's just something that happens every time president takes office now. Every single time. Like, it didn't used to be a thing really that they would just walk in and do a shitload of executive orders,
Mhm.
but now it is, and it's sort of, I don't know.
People are very unhappy with Biden. I didn't realize that because apparently before this happened, there'd only ever been one other, fuck, what was it called now? Preemptive pardon.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was. I thought it would have been.
it might have been Oppenheimer or something.
No, I feel like. Am I getting it wrong that it was for Nixon? I don't think it was for Nixon.
Oh, I think it might have been. It might have been
for the Watergate and all that.
It wasn't Nixon, but someone was allowed to become the next president because they would say yes to give Nixon a pardon immediately.
Oh,
So I don't know if it's the same exact situation, but yeah.
He had already been caught and all that, so it can't have been because that had already become a thing. So it couldn't have been a preemptive pardon because already knew what it was for. So it couldn't have
No,
been...
I think it was a preemptive pardon because I don't think it had actually finally finished in court at that point. And I think that was the point of it. It was like Richard Nixon was
preemptive, then, because he already been charged and stuff. It would still be just a pardon.
No, because it's not a full pardon until
trial.
You've been convicted.
I just feel like
then it's preemptive.
I feel like I remember thinking it would have that it was gonna be Nixon, and then being surprised that it wasn't.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure if I forgot that was something else. Now
right.
I could find out. Can't be bothered.
Can't be bothered.
Really.
You guys Google it.
Well, yeah, you go. You guys Google it.
You guys Google it and come and message us and let us know.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
We already do. You guys do something, you lazy bastards.
We don't have enough money to have a Jamie, all right? So you guys need to help us out.
I'd love to have a Jamie.
How good would that be?
That'd be amazing.
Hey, Jamie, hit that up for me, would you?
I could find just somebody maybe even I don't know, we could look for a younger person that we could give 40 quid to sometimes to come and do it.
Sometimes. If we have extra people on and we need the tech guy, yeah. It's not a bad shout.
Or stuff.
If it's just you and me, it's not so bad. But if there's 3 people and you need to switch between cameras, it might be.
Because to be fair, but if it wasn't doing this one now, I would just use my phone to Google it. What was the question again? We wanted to find out. Oh, who had a preemptive pardon?
Yeah.
Alexa, who was the first person to have a preemptive pardon?
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, you're a dumbass. I need the AI one.
That's suspiciously close to fucking what you got from the Chinese AI. I saw a video today on the Chinese AI that they've just released, and if you ask them certain things about Xi Jinping,
oh boy,
it just goes, "I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for that."
They know. See, even the AI smart enough to know not to say shit about
Xi Jinping. They've literally programmed it not to. If you ask it anything about the CCP or anything like that, it just won't tell you. Yeah, it's fucked. It's just absolutely.
I mean,
fucked.
Is it surprising though? Everything goes through the freaking government over there.
Yeah,
that's one place I wouldn't want to live rather than England. It happened again the other day, by the way. I was watching a video on YouTube and I realized, I'm set to Netherlands on my VPN. Turned it off. Video, it went away. I couldn't watch it anymore. It was something even stupid. It was just about band adverts.
Really?
Yeah. And even that, I was like, what the hell?
That's fucked, man.
And when that happened, it took it off my my history and everything.
So you can't even see that it was watched.
I don't think so.
That's crazy.
I didn't look that much. Oh wait, no, actually, I think I found it in the end again. Actually, but it just wouldn't play again. No, I think I did. It did come up again. Actually, I'm wrong about that.
But still, I mean, it's why the fuck are they doing that in this country?
Oh, because apparently they're more propagandists than we realised.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I assume because I didn't even realise it. So God knows how long it's been like it. Whether it's just Labour, I reckon it must have been from. As I said before, I think Labour and Tories are pretty much the same thing apparently. So
at this point, yeah, apparently
they're all the same kind of in the same boat together. It's just they like to do things slightly different.
Yeah,
but they're still in the same boat.
They still agree on the same things. They just agree to they disagree on the degree of how much they want to fuck people over to do it.
Pretty much.
It's like that's literally it. And it's not even just like fucking people over in general. It's different groups of people and how much they're going to fuck them over.
I really
we're going to fuck you over a little bit less so we can fuck them over a little bit more. But we're not going to fuck them over a little bit more, so they don't need to get fucked over quite as much. It's like, why don't we just fucking run the country in a way where we go, what's the budget we need to keep this shit running properly? Right, that's the amount we need. Okay, and now we just figure out the amount of tax we need and we take it from those people at the top.
Man, it's just corrupt
and then
shit.
less from the bottom.
Trying to say that kind of thing. It's just corrupt as shit at this point. Like, I really hope that Elon Musk does what he says he's going to do and back the Reform Party to try and change this thingy too, because he wants to make it like a world thing. He's not just thinking about America.
Yeah.
Trump was talking about like, you know,
Well, Trump was
he's
talking
very
about
pro-British, but he's also
Yeah.
talking about America first.
Trump was talking
So-
about potentially trying to take Canada on as the 51st state,
Yeah, yeah.
and Canada was like, "We absolutely don't want that."
Oh, no, fair enough.
But
Greenland are a bit more open to being bought, apparently.
yeah.
Yeah, I read that because he's on about that again. Apparently, they're a bit more open to it now because it does. People don't realize it's actually like they're not in a great shape, and it's actually a good deal for them.
It wouldn't be a bad deal for us, like, in comparison to being like alone by ourselves, not
It
even
might
in
go
the
to
European
52nd
Union.
state. Fuck, Canada.
Yeah, yeah.
51st.
Yeah.
Give it to us, man. Not even a film with that whole thing to begin with.
Yeah.
I would generally love for us to become a state of America.
Yeah, I would love it because then we could just move to another state in America.
Yeah, it'd
We
be so
talked about
much
this the other
easier.
thing. It would be brilliant.
Oh, yeah,
And I could just start doing things that I've always wanted to do, like, you know, travel around California doing gigs and stuff.
I'm sure Elon could figure out a way to drag us over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Hawaii isn't
yeah.
exactly close anyway.
You've
Hawaii
got
is
that
very
boring
far.
machine or whatever it is. That'd work, wouldn't it?
Boring machine.
Yeah, yeah, the boring company.
What's
That's the one
boring
they
about
use
it?
to make the tunnels that Teslas drive through. In
Oh,
California.
you've heard about these giant tunnels, actually.
Yeah.
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 That's a good. Just make like a giant channel tunnel to us.
Yeah.
Just across
But
the whole.
you can
fucking-
only drive through it in a Tesla, though.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Charger ports all around.
Yeah,
Wireless
yeah,
station. You can just
yeah.
keep driving.
Yeah, there's a
You put it
little,
on
there's like a
automatic while you
McDonald's
sleep.
underneath the water, just sort of halfway through, you know.
That would be great though, because you can put it on automatic while you sleep, though, man.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty
yeah,
banging.
yeah. I'd take it. I'd
Takes
do
so
it.
long though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd fucking
I'd
take
love
it.
to know how long that would take
Yeah.
to drive across.
The Atlantic
is it
Ocean.
the Atlantic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd take longer than it would take you to drive across the continental United States. Well, it wouldn't actually, because you'd be able to just take the one B line straight across.
Well, maybe.
Assuming the tunnel just goes straight over.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
shouldn't be anything
whilst
there.
in America, you'd have to go this way and that way, this way, that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know. So it'd probably only take you like 6 hours.
No bullshit.
No, if you were able to go at like
Nah.
top speed of a Tesla,
Nah.
which is like 140 miles an hour cruising.
There's like 4 hours to drive to Scotland. I know you have to do some turns, but it's not that.
Oh no, you're right actually, because it's 8 hours on a fucking plane. So yeah, I'm talking bullshit.
Yeah, hey, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You
What am I
nit.
talking about?
What are you on about?
It's gonna take you days.
Oh,
so
days and
there's gonna have
days.
to be a few McDonald's down.
Yeah, yeah. Few toilets.
And they jack up the prices because they know you can't go anywhere else.
Yeah. Take food with you. You could
yeah,
do that.
you could
But
do
if
that.
don't-
You could trek with a load of
The
food.
electric, now that would be expensive.
Yeah, because Elon Musk, he knows you can't go nowhere else for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
You can't take a lot of double A's with you. It
Nah.
doesn't work like that.
No.
That's how far we get you.
And then you have guys with like trucks driving down, like Tesla trucks with like a load of batteries in the back that are just charged up. Like, man, I give you a good price. I give you a good price for electricity.
You
I
know
give you
what? Though?
good
That would
price."
happen.
Yeah.
That would definitely happen. Oh yeah, bad. Like in
Yeah.
the future, like electricity.
And it tells you it fucks up your Tesla to think it's being charged, but actually he's draining your battery.
Imagine that in like a post-apocalyptic world.
Oh fuck.
It's like zombies and stuff,
Yeah.
and people are going around like trying to charge up cars instead
Yeah.
by like putting a motor in and cranking it.
Yeah.
That actually doesn't sound like a bad idea, actually. Yeah. But anyway, then I'm just about finished now. Then, so as you know, I was going through a bit of a fandom with shootouts and whatnot, and I came across this one, which sorry, not shootouts, like bank heists and that.
Yeah.
Which
Some end in shootouts.
some ended
Some end
shootouts,
in shootouts.
especially when after like 86, and there's been a lot of I've got some actual figures for you here, but over like the 10 years before this particular one we're going to talk about,
Yeah.
from like 85 to 95, there was so many
Bank robbery.
bank robberies in like
Yeah.
North Hollywood area.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how many. I got some statistics.
Thing
for
is,
you, like,
bank
that,
robberies don't really happen as much anymore.
because of all these extra
Yeah, but the
things that
extra
have been put
security.
in place,
And it's usually a
and
lot
the
easier.
huge sentences that
Yeah.
they put on at the same time. So people get to do a bank robbery. They wanted to make sure they
Make sure
were
they
going to
never
do
did it
it.
again.
There was
Yeah.
never any.
Yeah.
Like, you'd get a lot less. You know,
You
first
can't do it.
timers.
You can't do it as a day job. Let's put it that way.
You
It's
can.
a-
If
it's
you,
a-
yeah,
you
that's,
do
that's
one-
the better way to do it. You can't do it just like deciding, you know what, I'm going to go rob a bank and run down on your own. That's just not. cut
Oh
it
right.
anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
You need professionals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today.
But that's the thing is like there's so
Well-
many like people in America who are like ex-military or ex-police and stuff like that, and they end up getting no fucking money from the government because they don't get any fucking veteran
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and then they end up going like, well, fuck this. I fucking know how to do this shit. Let's
Mhm.
just have a go.
That happens a lot. That's not these people, though.
Not these people. But
That's
it does
definitely not
happen.
these people.
It does happen though.
Let me give you some of the figures that I have, though, because they're quite. When
Although
you
not
think
all
about
of them,
it.
obviously, a lot of people of the armed services, obviously, very good, upstanding people.
Yeah, sure. Some of them kill people, though.
A lot of them do.
They hurt people. They hurt
Hurt people.
people. You don't sing it. You don't know what you're singing. You don't know that reference.
I'm going with you.
Okay, cool.
I'm just
Appreciate
backing
that.
you, mate. I'm a backing
Okay, I
singer.
appreciate that.
You know?
3,500 banks in North Hollywood between
What? How many?
3,500 banks. I mean, this might be LA in general, actually. Now I think about it.
3,500 banks.
Yeah, so
3,500
3,500. Yeah.
fucking banks.
And between 1985 and 1995, how many times do you reckon they were robbed?
Oof, I don't know.
So,
So
35
3,500
3,500 banks over
That's huge.
10
That
10
still
years.
staggers me. That is such a
It's a lot.
huge
Yeah, that was-
fucking area.
That was why it was.
My God. Okay, so 3,500 banks.
Wait, you think that's not many, or
over how many? How
you
many?
think that's
Years?
not many?
No, I
banks,
think it's
or-
enormous.
Oh.
It's just like, oh my God, the size of LA.
Well, I think it's also there was just a lot of banks, though, because of rich people. and
Yeah.
stuff, you
But
know.
like you can't just have like bank after bank after bank. There's other businesses and shit. It's got to fill out.
yeah.
You know,
of
like
course.
there's
Yeah.
like that's just a
So, like-
staggering amount of
Mhm.
buildings for a city, and that's just one type of
I don't think
building,
it is. I
not
think
the
it's just
most
when-
common type.
Yeah,
of
I think
building.
it's just when you look at it, it was one of the more common ones. That the thing.
Oh,
There was
right,
a lot of
okay.
banks in this area.
Okay.
So 3,500 banks from 1985 to 1995 were robbed. Do you want to just know? Or do you want to take a guess? You haven't took a guess yet.
What's the sort of range?
What's the range? Answer
Let's say.
the fucking question.
Let me start.
Yeah, I
out.
ain't got a lifeline. You haven't got any lifeline. Do you think
Hmm.
Anton Deck's limitless win?
500 banks.
You didn't even listen to the question.
What?
No, I said there was 3,500 banks
All right, yeah.
over from
I thought you meant how many of those banks had been robbed.
No.
How many robberies in general?
How many robberies were there in
Okay.
general across those 10
5,000.
years? No,
10,000.
no, up.
Up. Fucking up.
17,000.
Holy shit. I thought I'd
3,500 banks.
overshot it.
It was 5,000. No, 17,000 times. So that works out to sorry, if you worked in a bank, in one of those banks,
You were almost
10
certain-
years.
Yeah.
no,
you would've come
you
across-
would have been robbed if you
Yeah.
were working. It's just assumed you was working every time.
Yeah.
You're working full time. You was there all the time. You would have been robbed 5 times.
Fucking
You had a gun in your
hell.
face 5 times.
Statistically, you would have
Yeah.
been robbed 5 times.
Yeah.
No wonder there were so many movies about bank heists in the fucking like 90s and 80s and fucking 2000s.
There was
was-
28 bank robberies in one day.
Motherfucker.
That was the record for one day.
Holy shit. That's
So you can see
amazing.
why-
28 in a day. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's genuinely insane. That's
can
almost
see-
one for every 1,000. That's insane. Not every.
What?
That's almost one for every 100. That's fucking insane.
What do you
That
mean?
28, 3,500. That's
Right,
almost
right.
one for every 100.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
almost a 1% hit rate in a day. Holy shit.
So naturally, like they needed to do something. they put like much longer sentences in.
Yeah.
They had like guards. They had like all these extra like money was put in to make extra. Like make it harder to get to the money.
Yeah.
They would have a lot less money kept in banks.
Yeah, they had different things like the silent alarm triggers.
Lots of
and things
different
like
shit
that.
in there,
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it a lot harder. So pretty much it did work though. You did get a there was a big drop in your general bank
Because
robberies.
you couldn't just walk in with a shotty and say, "Look, give me the money or you'll
Yeah, because it
stick it
wasn't
in the
worth
bag,"
it.
and
It's
then you
not
just
worth
run
going
out
to
and-
prison for life.
Yeah, stick it in the back of a Saturn and just
Yeah.
chug off back to your fucking crack.
And you would hardly get anything. And you'd probably, if you got caught, which you luckily would in that situation, you go to
Yeah.
prison for life.
Yeah,
Um,
not worth.
I don't know if it was life, but it was
So
like,
instead, you have to hit a really big bank really fucking hard.
or just, yeah, well, yeah, just, you have to make sure, at the very least, though, you just have to make sure you're not going to get caught. So you have to think about what you're doing.
Yeah, but you're also not going to go
Make
for
a
like
plan.
a silly little bank. You're going to go for a proper bank if you're going to do it. This
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. And you're also going to, you need to armor up.
Yep.
You need to have some weapons so that if police do come, you're going to make a
basically
stand. Because
need
there's
to
no
s-
point getting, if you,
Yeah.
there's no, if you get caught, you're going to prison for life. So
Yeah.
you got nothing to lose.
You need to
that
sort
point.
out your Call of Duty loadout before you start this. Let's
You
put it that way.
definitely do.
You definitely do.
And so that was 85 to 95. So by the time 1997 came, all these things were already in place. And the two people today that we're going to be talking about are Larry Phillips Jr. And Emil Matasarinu.
Ooh.
I will just be calling him Larry and Emil.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Larry and Emil.
I'm getting some stuff
Oi, Emil.
here.
Get us a chocolate bar from the shop, will you, Emil?
Give me a little bit here, actually, where I'm going to have to like read stuff to double check that I got the right part. And you can just throw in your talking over it.
Yeah.
Like you do
Yeah.
anyway.
Like I do, I always interject. There are a couple of
just
moments
drop it all the
actually when I
time.
was watching back over the previous thing. I was like, "Do I talk over people too much? Do I do that? Do I talk?
No,
too
not
yeah.
generally.
Okay.
Usually you kind of jump in when it's needed more than anything.
Cool.
When
cool.
like the gaps are needed to be filled.
Right.
I think if anything, I interrupt more than anyone.
Oh.
But yeah,
I think
that day is not an.
I don't think that's true. So I think we're both just sort
Just
of
feel like we
hyper
do.
aware of ourselves.
yeah.
There we go.
Not a bad thing. Larry Phillips then.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's boring if you just one person just talks about it. It's why I love the two-person
The pods. Yeah.
the two-person dynamic.
Comedy
like,
duos, is thing throughout time, man.
remember with the hippie at the beginning, one of the times when we was doing a podcast and it was all good when we were talking like that, and then I started telling a story on it, and I looked over to him and he was just like this. I watched it back, just watching him slowly go,
Yeah.
that was in my thing.
You're in the zone.
So I won't give the full background here. I'm going to give a little bit.
Yeah.
Larry Phillips Jr. He was born in Los Angeles, California, and I'm already bored. So yeah, that's as much as you're getting about it.
Born in LA, you know.
He did some little stuff like as he was growing, like the whole growing up, his family, none of that shit matters in my opinion. After a certain point, he met Emil, but before that, sorry, he was doing little things like he did some real estate scams. That
Oh,
was
right,
his thing
yeah.
for a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into all the detail about it.
So he was a career criminal to a certain.
Oh, they both were.
Yeah.
They both were career
Yeah.
criminals.
Yeah.
It seemed like, from what I've read, Larry was more with the brains,
Right.
whereas Emil was more of a
The brawn.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I forgot to say as well, sorry, when the general robberies dipped when these things were put in place, while general robberies dipped, what did start to pop off at this point then after that was when robberies did happen, they were like takeover style robberies, which is what you see in films when they run in, boom, boom, everybody drop to the floor, like show me your hands, whatever.
Yeah. Where you got to have
take
a team
over.
of like 6 people to cover everyone to
Exactly.
make sure nothing's happening, and then
And all this extra stuff you have to do now with getting the codes and all this, like it was just a bit more of a ball. And I think you had security guards who, because if they had guns, they had something. I assume they had guns.
I mean, the thing is, the security guard has a gun, but it's like they say in almost all of the movies. It's
Let
like,
them
is he
do
going to really get himself killed for like $25,000 a year?
exactly.
No, he's not.
That's exactly. I mean, they do tell you, don't they, to just let them have it because it's all insured.
Yeah.
And it's easier to try and get them afterwards. So
Plus, most notes are just like easily traceable, like incredibly easily traceable, like astoundingly so. Like I was listening to an episode of Criminal, and there were these people who were like magnet fishers. Excuse me.
you are excused.
The people who were magnet fishers in America.
Oh, I know what you
And,
mean. Yeah, I've heard of that.
They came across a safe.
Yeah.
And it had like $100,000 worth of money in it, but the money was basically like decaying.
Yeah.
And the police say, look, this stuff is beyond repair. It no longer counts as money. It's actually just sort of free property, so you can take it.
Yeah. Just work whatever it would work historically, probably.
And no, but the thing is, you can then take that to a special branch in Washington that will then calculate how much money is actually there and will give you that money back in fresh bills.
Wow.
So literally they take this chunks in, and it's literally just like chunks of mud essentially at this point, like with like slight like indents of what used to look like cash.
Right.
But even from that, they were like, oh yeah, so this is bad. I know it's probably, you know, not great, but what do you think you can do? And they're like, oh, this is nothing. Yeah, no, this is easy. Yeah, we had I thought you were saying no. They're like, no, this is nothing to us. We can easily do this because we've had people bring in stuff that was like buried in the mud for like years and years and years, and had basically literally decayed into mud, and they were still able to identify it because there's other trace things they use in the actual ink and stuff to tell you what it is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like they can actually calculate quite easily. And they said, oh, did you use the water? And like, yeah, there was a load of water that poured out. And they said, you should have brought all of that with you as well. Because even if there's like microscopic parts of the fucking cash, they can still find it.
That's crazy. Why though? What's the point of giving them the money though?
Because that money is still technically a legal amount of tender. They've got a board which says this is the amount of money that is in the United States, essentially. And then you've got to...
So kind of essentially helps their books then.
Yeah, so they've got to correct it. So that money exists. It was made. It was printed.
They can see here it is.
And now they can say, look, we found it. Now we can put it back into production and it's back out there. And that allows them to keep their eye on things like counterfeits. Because then they can... actually figure out how much
it's more about that, isn't it? It's more about like it shows in the books where this lost bit of money is, and then they know. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
For them,
actually.
it's a win-win.
That makes sense.
Like the money is already paid; it exists, but now it's working to actually do stuff in the economy again.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but money.
When you said that, I was like, "There's nothing he could say to me here that will explain to me why that makes sense and they would pay you for that." I know, I was wrong.
Yeah, no, but literally, it's like that money is so easily traceable, and people don't realize how easily traceable it is.
Definitely now, anyway. So prior to stuff, anyway, stuff happened. Their wives left. They were some, whatever. Who cares? During some of their stuff, it was assumed that the two robbed a First Bank-owned armored car at Littleton, Colorado on July 20th, 1993. There were no casualties, and it was a very brazen robbery, which is why it went on to make them think that it was them. And because of also, in July 1990, so that was July 1993, sorry. In October 1993, at Glendale, California, Phillips and Emil driving in a brand new Ford Thunderbird that they'd rented from an airport and sped the car away from a gas station at high speeds for some reason.
Right.
They were pursued by the patrolling sergeant Ian Grimes, who eventually pulled them over. Grimes asked Phillips for his driver's license, to which Phillips attempted to make excuses that he accidentally left it at his home. And Emil lied that the car belonged to Phillips' mother. Pretty much what happened here was they had so many different different names. What's that word for when you do aliases? They had so many different aliases and stories for some of their scams they were doing together at the time. I'm glad I watched these other things because I know this now that on here. They were getting. He got confused. He forgot the story. He was supposed to say something about it was an airport thing but he
said one of his other scams.
He got confused.
One of his other covers.
The copper already knew from checking the plates before he actually went to them. It was an airport car, so it was like, hey, something's not making sense here. So they were arrested, taken in. He noticed on the way while he got them out of the car that they both had Glock pistols on them, so he disarmed them. And a search on the front on the car was later done, where they found a Polytech semi-automatic rifle with a folding stick,
Jesus.
which is like an illegal mod from the sounds of
Yeah.
it. A Norinco Mac 90 semi-automatic rifle with a wooden stock, a Springfield Armory .45 pistol, a Colt 45 pistol, 1,600 rounds of that ammunition, most of them loaded into 30 round mags, 3 Chinese-made 75 drum mags, 357 rounds of some other ammo, 6 smoke bombs, 2 improvised explosive devices, a gas mask, 2 sets of National Armour Level 3A vests, 2 200-channel portable programmable scanners with earpieces, sunglasses, gloves, wigs, ski masks, and a stopwatch, 2 spray cans of grey studio hair colour, 3 different California automobile license plates, and a sum of $1,620. So they were definitely up to some shit before they got arrested.
What in the fuck?
They were definitely up to some shit before they got arrested.
They've got the arsenal of a small country.
Yeah. Why they were speeding about with all that in their car, God knows, man.
Jesus.
They were arrested and identified for DNA fingerprinting as well, for their actual names, who they were, you know. But if I remember correctly, they were charged at that point for conspiracy to commit robbery, grand theft auto, unlawful weapons activity, carrying and concealing a loaded firearm, and perjury.
Jesus.
The grand theft auto charges were eventually dropped because they hadn't stolen the car.
No, they just rented it.
Yeah.
Fucking renting a car and
they were sentenced to 99 days and 71 days in prison, plus 36 days of probation for each of the two. That's pretty lenient for back then. I suppose it's because it was conspiracy. They didn't catch them doing a robbery.
No, but they just caught them with a load of guns that they shouldn't own, which was basically what the charge was.
They basically caught them with a with a bank robbery kit.
Yeah,
but it's like manslaughter. If you try to kill someone but you fail, you instantly get a much lesser sentence.
You end up going to a psychological. You go to a psychiatric ward. You don't go to prison or something.
No, not necessarily. I mean, just literally manslaughter. You get a lot less. Not manslaughter. Sorry. Attempted. Sorry, not manslaughter. That was the wrong.
Attempted murder.
Attempted murder is what I meant to say. Yeah. Attempted murder is much less than murder, even though you're trying to kill the person.
Yeah.
But if you just fail because you're crap, then your sentence is much less.
Yeah. So, if you learn anything, be shit at murder.
Yeah. No, there you go. Yeah. The two. Okay, on July 14th, 1995, the two robbed a armored car before making their getaway in a dark blue Chevrolet Cavalier, using automatic weapons and shooting the car's rear door open to get the money. The robbery left a security guard, Herman Dwight Cook, dead, and the car's driver injured. In 1996, another armored car owned by the same company was fired out on the street by the pair. That might have been the same two. It's another one that's not confirmed. Riding in a maroon-coloured Ford. The driver was slightly injured. The armoured car sped off and soon lost sight because I'm guessing it just failed.
Have you ever seen that footage of the armoured car being chased in South Africa?
No.
You've not seen that?
No.
Holy shit! It's like a dashboard cam looking into the cab.
Yeah.
And they're driving along, and then all of a sudden it just goes like bam, 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 and then like they start like looking around and panicking, and then you just start seeing like actual bullet holes hit the bulletproof glass and crack it. It's so fucking crazy. What do you say? Armored car, South Africa. Yeah. There it is. That's the one. This is it. Crazy, dude. This is fucking crazy. I can't believe you've not seen this shit.
I don't think I do.
Mate,
I haven't.
This is mental.
Let me do the.
Yeah, you got to, because this is a good react. This.
Screen.
This guy is exactly the kind of person you want to have driving with you at all times. He is the perfect driver in this situation.
The driver.
Yeah, he's so good.
Okay.
He's so pro.
I'm expecting some stuff now.
He's so pro. He's so calm the entire time.
Okay, let's have a look. See then.
So normal day, everything's fine.
He still looks vigilant, looking around. Look.
Oh, they are. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So he's just random. But they're still on his tail.
Well, not the big gun now.
Yeah. He's crossing over. Oh, there he is again. Oh.
Oh yeah.
It's a team of them as well that are
Yeah,
going
team
through.
in
It's
the
like
back.
two different cars.
Was that just a reflection actually? Oh yeah, that's just a reflection of them in the back actually. I thought it was some other people, but it's not. It's just them.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah. Be careless.
So pro. Look at this. He's just like he's going through a park now.
Oh god, yeah.
Back on the road. Losing them. Fucking brilliant. Oh, back on. Oh,
What happened? He lost him.
I think he's on the wrong side of the road, mate.
Oh shit.
Cars are going the other way.
Oh damn. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're gonna have to shoot.
Oh, they're still there.
Yeah. You're gonna
Oh.
shoot. You're gonna have to shoot. Off.
Oh damn, yeah. Big gun they're using. Look at how it's like just splitting up that freaking I don't know, that armored glass. I guess if you kept shooting it, it would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, call some help. That's a good idea. These guys are so chilled.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not seeming worried at all. So this is just another day in their life. It looks like he's just trying to text. He's like doing, like you know, just texting someone at the same time. I feel like we don't know what happened. He didn't wait for the other guy like that. Dude, that guy doesn't give a crap, does he?
No, he just.
He's like, motherfucker.
He's like, I'm not paid enough for this, and the other guy's like, this is my own personal Mel Gibson movie.
Oh, he's mental, man. He give a crap.
Have you seen Mel Gibson made a new movie?
Mel Gibson made a new movie.
Yeah.
No, and I think I'd like to keep it that way.
Yeah, it's Flight Risk.
Oh, I think I might have seen that.
Yeah,
There was
Marky
a
Mark
B movie stuff to wind down. I think he
Yeah.
makes films.
Yeah.
Still. Isn't he normally
No,
a
but
director? in
did
that
you
now?
not know that then? Oh,
What?
mate. So Donald Trump has made Mel Gibson his like ambassador to Hollywood, along with like 2 other celebrities.
Right.
So to make Hollywood great again.
Well, I'm confused though. So how is Mel Gibson going to make Hollywood great again?
Because he's a good Christian director, don't you know?
I mean, he's a Christian director. 2 of those 3 words were correct.
Yeah. Legit, that's what's happened.
No, I did not know that part
Did not know
happened.
that.
Did not
No.
know the other person, I'm guessing.
No, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Rutger Hauer or something like that. I don't know. I think Rutger Hauer might have died. So
We have so I told you about everything leading up to 1997.
Yes.
Pretty much now.
yes.
So now we are on to the North Hollywood Shootout itself. This is February
Ooh.
28th, 1997.
Nice.
And the best part about this is that most of what happened is caught on video.
Nice.
So it looks
Well,
like this
I say
here.
nice. It's quite a stressful situation for the people involved, I imagine.
Nice for us. I mean, situations give us stories.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what they wanted when it happened. That's what the police were thinking about.
Yeah.
Was us having the story afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Definitely what the news are thinking about.
Yeah.
They were risking themselves, like getting shot at as well.
Yeah.
These guys, I thought I'd just give you a bit of build up before we watch just some of the the video, and then I'll give you exactly what happened from it.
Yeah.
But let's just go to the beginning. So Phillips and Emil committed the actions against them widespread infamy across the country, arriving at the Bank of America owned bank at 6600 Laurel Canyon Boulevard in a blue 1987 Chevrolet Celebrity that had been sprayed white. The two exited the car at 9:17 a.m. after taking phenobarbital. They were high as shit, basically.
Right. Barbiturates.
Muscle relaxing drug that was prescribed as an anticonvulsant.
Why would you take a muscle relaxant when you're doing a bank job?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure
That
out.
seems like an incredibly stupid
To
move.
calm
to me.
themselves, it says here. I mean, we can't ask them because if it isn't obvious by
I mean,
everything I've
there's
said so
other
far.
things you can take though. Why not just take a fucking Xanax?
Well, this is like back then with Xanax as
I think Xanax was around then.
I don't know, maybe that's just what they liked. And
When did Xanax come out?
yeah, check that. I'd be interested to know that.
Yeah.
But it's not just about when it came out as well. It's about when it was like widely available. Because the sounds of this then, a muscle relaxing drug that was it was actually prescribed to him.
1981.
It was actually prescribed to Emil. That's why, as an
right.
anticonvulsant.
Right.
But they just took a load of calm themselves going in.
I would have
Seems
picked a
weird.
different drug. I wouldn't have picked a muscle relaxant.
Well, it's just apparently,
I would have
that's all they
taken a
had.
Xanax. I would have taken a Xanax or two.
I reckon that probably would have been harder to get back then. It's apparently to calm you down. That now, if you needed something to calm you down, or back maybe like 5 years ago,
Yeah.
that's what they would have given you.
Yeah.
But maybe apparently back then, anticonvulsant, that's like the things that I get actually.
Yeah.
For not yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they were both armed with Chinese-made Norinco Type 56 Sportster assault rifle, and they were each wearing bulletproof body armor suits.
Nice.
As they went into the bank, the general they had it like down to a science where they would like go because they'd done a load of other ones at this point too.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure anyway. They hadn't been caught for any and couldn't ask them afterwards.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Shit. Yeah, so they had it down like a science where they knew it would take about 8 minutes for the police to respond. So they went in and they go down to about 4 minutes, so they'd be out again. But just in case, they had the body armor, the guns, because like we said before, it's better to try and shoot your way out of it because either way, you're in prison for life at this point now. With these everything they put in.
Yeah.
So when you did a bank robbery, you were there to really do a bank robbery,
Right.
no half-hearted shit.
Yeah. That just seems so silly though.
But the problem was that it messed up straight away because as they went in the bank with ski masks on and guns and all that, a patrol car just happened to drive by and see
Oh
them.
fucking hell.
So instantly,
Jesus.
the
Christ.
moment they went in, which would result in obviously a lot of.
Why wouldn't you have spotters? Oh, then because you got to pay more people.
Yeah, there was just two of them. They were
Yeah.
that was their group. They liked it, just them two. You go and do the. It worked. It's just that for their side was just unlucky.
Just unlucky.
Could happen at any time, couldn't it? Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then this is
North
everything
Hollywood,
that came from it.
February 1997. This is the case that would change the rules.
No, I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Wanna
Just
see.
in case.
I just want to
So-
see some of the stuff more than anything. Just
Yeah.
show some of the video because obviously we're going to. It's going to be very hard for me to try and figure out as I'm talking through the video that goes with it. But everything is kind of caught with it. If you really wanted
Jesus
to,
Christ.
you could go through, figure out all the video as the story goes on.
He's
This is how
wearing
we
heavy
know.
body armor.
This is how we know exactly. Like what happened and stuff. Even though they're not around anymore, it's because it was all filmed.
Yeah.
There was news people, I guess, very nearby because it's not like it was a long thing either. I don't think some of it was some of the later bits.
Yeah.
Because they would go off to the outer city, to the outer town, and they were shot to bits,
Yeah.
but no fatal stuff. The one guy was only shot in the legs and stuff. Had like 28 bullet wounds.
Well, that's because they were wearing the heavy body armor. So, no vitals, but unfortunately, heavy body armor doesn't really cover legs that well, no matter what you want to do with it.
Well, they weren't just having body armor; they were putting in plates of stuff.
Oh,
It wasn't
right,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
a vest. They had like actual plates they were putting in everywhere.
Jesus.
They were covered all over.
Yeah.
Because we have no, because the amount of bullets fired was crazy.
Yeah.
We have no idea how many shots hit the armor. You know what I mean? Which would have hurt.
Yeah. Well, it's like being punched. It's the same.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
almost the same sort of force as being punched.
Mhm.
The reason why it's so deadly is because it's on something that's like the size of that.
That was another part. Why he popped up just reminded me. Sorry. They didn't have enough guns. The police only had like revolvers and stuff.
Yeah.
So they had to go down to the gun store and get some guns.
No shit.
Is what this guy's saying right now. Yeah.
So he
I
lit-
just wanted to
so-
put some. I wanted to put some context for what was on screen. Yeah.
I'd no, pause that for a sec because I want to just talk about that. Just
No, yeah, you
imagine
can still
being
talk.
that shop owner.
Yeah.
Just imagine being that guy and these officers coming like, yeah, hey man, we need some guns. What do you have? Something that will kill a moose.
So they issued an alert to police when they saw him go in.
Yeah.
Farrell and they're presenting themselves behind a parked semi-truck as Phillips and Emil forced 32-year-old Armen, a man who deposited $85 at one of the bank's ATMs, inside of the bank at gunpoint because he was on his way. He was in the mid, like there's a machine.
Right.
Where they initiated the robbery, opening fire all over the bank's interior. They reported shots fired outside because that's what they did, to control the area.
Mhm.
Inside the bank, Phillips and Emil began experiencing difficulties in acquiring the money fast enough due to new security measures. Banks broke their money down to separate lockable boxes to slow down robbers, and they knew they only had a certain amount of time. They didn't know about everyone outside at this point.
Mhm.
And it varied its delivery times. The sum of money that they were shorter than expected. They left with 303,000, which is still pretty good, and
Yeah.
3 die packs, the latter of which were hastily put in by an unknown assistant bank manager.
No.
At that time, those small teams of police officers were surrounding the side of the bank. Sergeant Larry Haynes and Officer Martin Whitfield were surrounding the northern side of the bank. Officers Farrell and Perello, the ones that saw them initially,
Yeah.
were on the southern side of the bank. Officer Brettlinger, Edward Brettlinger, the northeastern side.
So they are completely surrounded.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
And officers James Bevan and Stuart Guy, as well as detectives Tracy and Angeles and William Krulak, were at the bank's western doorway.
Fucking hell.
So they were completely surrounded. But the problem was, they only had like handguns and
Yeah.
blocks.
So the fact is they've only got 9 mil, which is
Mhm.
not going to go through the armor.
yeah, no, not at all.
Like the thing is, there's different types of armor, and there's usually what people wear is the light body armor, which is Kevlar. That's
Yeah.
what police are issued. A Kevlar body armor
Well,
will
that's
stop a
just
9mm
a
bullet.
vest.
It's literally just a vest.
'Cause
It'll
this
stop
isn't
a
SWAT.
9mm.
This isn't SWAT.
No, but it'll stop a 9mm bullet. It'll stop a 7.62. I think it will stop quite a range of ammunition. The problem is, once a Kevlar vest has been hit, all of the fibers in that area are dead.
Right.
Once it impacts, it breaks the fibers, and the fibers are no longer necessarily going to stop a bullet. They might take one, they might take
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
they might take 3, but eventually that
If you
that
shot
vest
the
is going to
exact
become,
same point,
yeah,
if you
it would go
somehow
straight
great,
through. Yeah,
great shot like that.
it would
that
go
makes
straight
sense.
through. Yeah. The fact is that once you're wearing like heavy body armor, it's no longer just Kevlar like woven, it's Kevlar plates and like
Yeah.
chunks of metal and shit like that. And it's
I think that's
it's
kind
like
of
wearing medieval armor essentially.
yeah. Like chainmail, that side can be good at like blocking bullets and shit on it.
Yeah.
Like chainmail kind of stuff. I think they knew that like they were kind of screwed if they let SWAT get down and start getting at them. So I think
Yeah.
when they realised, because just after this anyway, I suppose I should read the next bit.
Yeah.
Because when the one Phillips exited the bank at 9:24 a.m., he saw 2 of the officers, Haynes and Whitfield, about 200 feet away from him. It was quite a distance. They weren't like right at the bank or anything. And instantly he opened fire on them, riddling the car with gunfire.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he wasn't a great shot from the sound of it because he was hitting multiple vehicles with them. The gunfire put everyone nearby into a panic. Phillips raged about with his firearm for several minutes, eventually wounding several officers, including Whitfield, Sergeant Haynes, Branavan, and Detective Krulak.
Oof,
So
that's
pretty
not
much
good.
all of them were there.
Yeah.
That must have been the western side then,
I mean, that's not a good thing to put
and
on.
2 civilians.
Yeah, that's not going to go well at court because you are going to get to court at this stage. I don't see them getting out of this for some reason.
Court, what are you on about?
Oh
Not going
no!
to court.
Oh no!
Phillips also began firing at an LAPD-owned helicopter that had arrived to survey it, forcing it to fly away. It says here to a safer altitude. I think it should say altitude,
Yeah,
unless they wanted salt for their food.
solitude. Yeah,
I don't know.
I like a solitude.
Maybe solitude. Maybe they wanted to be. Maybe the
Yeah.
helicopter wanted to be alone.
Yeah, just to be alone with its thoughts and the whap for a second.
Yeah, okay. Because of Phillips' body armor, officers weren't able to shoot him down with their pistols, and
Yeah.
Officer Branavan's Ithaca model pump-action shotgun wasn't even enough to get through it.
Fucking hell.
And it was a bit too far away, really. They were way
Yeah.
too far away for a shotgun to work.
Oh, actually, no. This is the thing. Games have made people think that shotguns are immediately out like that. They are not.
Yeah, I know.
Shotguns go quite a distance in quite a small spread before they actually widen out.
But I don't think for like with power wise as well, because they lose the power quicker too, because
Yeah.
they're made for close up. I don't think against body armor,
Yeah.
But the good thing about that though is it would break down into different pellets and all that though, so it could get through the bits.
Yeah.
That'd be one good thing for that. When 4 SWAT officers arrived, Don Anderson, Steve Gomez, Peter Whiter, and Richard Massa, Phillips retreated back into the bank, then re-emerged with a mill, both carrying a large bag containing the money they stole. So unfortunately, some SWAT did make it.
Yeah.
3 die packs inside the bag were set off, ruining the money they stole, all of it. So the 2 resorted to their escape plan, opening fire on civilians and officers, injuring Officer Guy and civilian Tracy Fisher, and also further wounding Officer Whitfield and Sergeant Haynes. Wounded for them, they just can't. One was
Can't
shot
get
in the
away
hand.
with it. Jesus.
One was shot in the hand and instantly just dropped it. And he dropped his gun and he was like, "Oh damn!" Just picked it up with the other hand and started shooting. The other way. One was like pumping like the shotgun, like with the one
Gangster.
hand.
Fucking gangster.
Oh yeah, they were going for it, man. They were like, it was like they were pissed off that these guys had dared to like rob another bank in their area.
Yeah.
And they were how dare
You
they shoot at them too?
motherfuckers, don't you understand? You're gonna die for this.
They were, to be fair, they were full on. They didn't give a crap about the lives of the officers. They were just all they cared about was getting away.
Well, if you're gonna die, who gives a shit if someone else does?
Well, their life would be ruined. Just would be ended full stop because you're going to prison for life.
Yeah.
There's no way around.
That's the way they look at it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you look at it. Okay, so where do we get to? Okay, so soon they began to move back to the Chevrolet Celebrity for the getaway, but at that point, Emil was shot twice in the right buttock and the left forearm because the one had more armor than the other. Phillips then opened fire on a group of police officers, attempting to flank the 2 from the Artwood Street backyard. Detective Earl Valdez was hit in the head by flying debris and seriously wounded. Emil boarded the Chevrolet and started descending while Phillips decided to cover him with a Heckler Glock and semi-automatic rifle. Eventually, the rifle was struck in the receipt. Oh yeah, the rifle was shot. Sorry, rendering it useless. Phillips was also hit in the shoulder. He soon discarded the rifle after firing 2 more times one-handedly and utilizing a Rinko Type 56 assault rifle. However, it began jamming a few times, so Phillips also became delayed from the side effects induced by the bitumen, leaving him confused with a lack of coordination.
For fuck's sake, again, why would you have picked barbiturates as a fucking choice? You idiot.
His assault rifle fully fucked up, so he had to resort to using his 9mm Beretta. Police fired back and he was shot in the right hand, causing him to accidentally drop his pistol, picked it up with his left hand and carried on shooting, and then decided to use it to commit suicide by shooting himself in the chin.
Jesus Christ.
As he fell to the ground, he was struck by bullets fired by the police because they had no idea whether he was just trying to reload or lying down to shoot him underneath it. So they just kept shooting and shooting.
Yeah.
And he was just riddled with bullets.
Yeah.
was that? Okay. Meanwhile, Emil, who'd begun driving on Archwood Street at the time of Philip's suicide, made a decision to abandon the Chevrolet and carjack another vehicle, as the Chevrolet had been fired on by police officers, leaving 2 of the tires flat and no windshield. He came across a Ford Red Tempo, which was like a truck.
Yeah.
Tempted to, and he blocked it, fired at the driver. The driver just managed to escape, and he jumped in his car. But then, as he drove off, he came across a group of police cars that confronted him on a normal car, sorry, and he confronted an aerospace engineer named Bill Maher, who'd been trying to drive to his
Bill Maher?
workplace. Yeah, Bill Maher.
What are you doing out there, Bill Maher?
Jumped in a 1963 Jeep Cherokee pickup, but he had to reroute to Archwood Street due to police blockage. Emil, no, he originally didn't, and the guy got. Emil fired at Maher, wounding him and forcing him to flee on foot. He tried to get into the house of 6. Oh yeah, and then he tried to use that truck, and the gun. The guy had managed to take the keys with him. The guy had fought enough to take the keys with him when he ran out. So he decided to get into the house of 69-year-old Dora Lubjensky.
I thought you were going to say the Explorer then for some reason. Just little Dora the Explorer just having, can you spell cupboard? This guy comes running in. Get down on the floor, you little shit! Get down on the floor before I fucking shoot you!
Oh, sorry, it was the civilian that ran to the 69-year-old Dora's. And she thought he was an intruder and called the police, and they thought for a bit that he was a third gunman from the thingy. Meanwhile, Emil retrieved a Bushmaster semi-automatic rifle from the trunk of the Chevrolet, so he was still right there.
Right.
You know, he had done nothing. He tried to get like 2 cars, and they both failed.
So now he's just getting more guns again.
Yeah, I'm so glad I watched these other things to get in my head, because this thing here that I thought was really good is just missing out some stuff. But I did it on purpose, because like I said, the actual thing I was using was so much info.
Yeah.
It was hurting my head because I was trying to work through it all.
Well, I mean, it's all documented.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, everyone knows beat for beat what happened here.
Meanwhile, so he got the thingy. He boarded Maher's Jeep and tried to get it started, but Maher had left the keys, but the Jeep had a kill switch activated.
Oh, brilliant! I love kill switches.
Wow, that's
I
great.
wish my car had a kill switch.
I didn't know that.
It'd be
I didn't know
so
you
cool.
could get them.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. So the way a kill switch works, do you know how it works?
Yeah, it kills your car.
It's not as simple as that. So
what
you
it
can
does,
have a kill switch is literally just a switch that's somewhere hidden on the vehicle.
Hmm.
But sometimes, quite a lot of the times, a kill switch will be a series of things you have to do with the instruments on the car. So, for example, you have to turn the right
Like a kill
indicator
code.
on, you have to turn the right indicator off, you have to push down the clutch pedal entirely, and then you can start the car. If you do that, everything's fine. If you don't do that, the car will allow you to drive for like 50 feet and then just go.
I see. You have to put that in each time.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that guy managed to do that, but then people still thought he was a thingy, so he was a baddie. So
yeah.
But then a proper SWAT team had turned up, and they had fired at Emil with their AR-15 assault rifles for 2.5 minutes.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, they were on him at that point.
AR-15s are not a joke. That's a proper assault rifle.
They noticed that Emil wasn't wearing armour on his legs, and they fired under the vehicles, hitting him over 20 times in the legs.
Jesus Christ!
He fell and surrendered to the authorities. When officers surrounded him, he called himself Pete and taunted them to kill him. But they didn't.
Yeah, because they're police officers and everything's being recorded.
Yeah, you'd think that. But by 10:01 a.m., he eventually died from trauma induced by excessive blood loss coming from 2 gunshot wounds in his left thigh. This happened before an ambulance called in reached the scene almost 70 minutes later, because they purposely wouldn't let it in. They wouldn't let anyone in. Saying there's possibly another gunman in the area. Even by this point, they knew that guy wasn't the gunman, but they still thought there was another one. They searched. To be fair, they seemed to generally think there was another gunman around because they searched a lot.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't have died from his wounds, to be fair. There was nothing
immediately fatal.
Yeah. He said he didn't hit any of the arteries like that or
Right.
anything like that.
But he just
But
bled
people
out.
are saying no. He had all those drugs in his system, blood thinners. That could have been why.
Yeah.
Uh,
He just the bleeding wouldn't stop because it just wouldn't coagulate. Yeah.
it's- mm.
Yep. That'll do
Although-
it. That's another reason why you don't take drugs before you do a bank robbery.
when they went over to him and like stuck the gun at his head for to take his to cuff him and that.
Yeah.
The gun was so hot that it seared into the back of his head.
Oof.
So they didn't give. I mean, this guy had been shooting and trying to kill police officers. They didn't give a shit, did they?
No.
In the hours following the shootout, the officers continuously searched throughout North Hollywood for any more gunmen, with residents being told via broadcasts to stay inside their homes until further notices. Not just broadcasts on the telly where they'll give you information, but just a helicopter
speaker.
going over with a
Jesus.
speaker going, stay in your houses. There is a, we are on the
Active shooter
lookout to an active
situation, yeah.
shooter.
Jesus Christ.
And the thing is, it just wasn't.
No.
It just wasn't anywhere.
No. They were just wasting everyone's day.
Yeah. So they both died. So that's why none of them ended up getting done for it, and we don't know for sure, what robberies they did before that
Yeah.
because they're dead.
Yeah, they can't sort of admit to anything or confirm anything.
I don't think that story, though, how I read it, gives it full justice because it went on for a little bit. Like, what's it? Sorry. Oh yeah, a load of officers were given the Medal of Valor for their actions and met Bill Clinton. A total of 19 officers involved in the shootout. The names of the officers that got their valor were Don Anderson, Tracy Angeles, Banford Jr., Edward Brentlinger, Anthony Kavanagh, John Caparelli, Thomas Kulatka, Edwin Dominguez, Stephen Gomez, Kevin Harley, Richard Massa, Israel Medina, Charles Pellegrini, Tom Schmidt, Conrado Torres, Lawrence Winston, Philip Wixon, James Zabravin, and Richard Zelinski.
Huh.
Emil's death sparked a high amount of controversy directed the LAPD for officers refusing to allow medical attention to him until 70 minutes, because he shouldn't have died from that.
Yeah.
Even with the barbiturates in him.
Yeah.
Alleging the ambulance personnel were following the standard procedure for refusing to enter the hot zone. Even though there were some that were trying to enter that were like, we don't care about the risk to us, we're going to come in. They literally came over to him and just wouldn't let them to him, which kind of goes against that idea,
Yeah.
because in other situations that always happens and they do let them if they're willing to put themselves in that situation, because even though he's a tried to kill cops and all this stuff, it still helps a lot more to keep him alive.
Well, yeah, because
a cop out just being killed.
And also it's got to be done by due process.
Exactly, yeah. But there was like a lawsuit against the LAPD from the family of Emil, but it was eventually dropped. An investigation conducted by LA Times in 2017 determined that a series of mishaps and mistakes, mainly by paramedics, was responsible for his slow death. I don't see why it's the paramedics' fault at all. That's it doesn't have any information as to why. I don't understand at all why. Yeah, whatever. I don't.
It's probably just the
all.
information they got told by the police at the time.
Yeah.
They can only report the information that they've got. So if they're being told by the police, oh yeah, well no, sorry, no one wanted to go in. It was dangerous, and we told them they could, but
this is some of the bits here when he was shooting. Like there was one bit when the car would be driving off slowly, the one, and he was telling the other guy to get in, and he just didn't get in. He just wouldn't. He was just kept shooting and didn't need to. The second one to die, the one. No, that was the first guy. The one who eventually shot himself. He was just. I think he decided by that point they weren't getting away. He was taking out as many as he could before he killed himself.
Yeah.
Considering he shot himself in the head, he had plenty of It seemed that Emil wanted to get away quicker, probably because he had less body armor on, which is why he stayed in the car as well.
Yeah,
he didn't have the body armor on his legs, which is what got him eventually. It's resulted in like a famous photo as well that you'll see. I can put it on the screen at a different point, but I can show you because I'm pretty sure it's on my phone thing here. There it is. finger.
I'm just watching this video entranced. It's
I know,
it's so strange because it does. It looks like sort of movie footage.
Yeah, it looks like it's all vague, it.
Yeah.
But no, it was just all filmed.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, though. Real life kind of does look like that a lot of time.
Well, that's what movies are trying to ape, isn't it?
Exactly.
I suppose.
But it's hilarious that, like, you know, this is another thing that they don't mention in this article that I was using to give me the basic timeline anyway.
Yeah.
So you can see like some of the stuff here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you my. I'll leave this for now. It just doesn't seem like this is in order or anything. You know,
No,
that's
no,
the
it's
trailer he's
just-
hiding behind at the end,
Yeah.
where he got shot up, I think, or I can't remember which one that was. He might be the one to shoot himself in the head on it.
Don't know. He's just sort of walking about though.
He was just trying to take out as many as he could, especially like with that pistol at the end. Like he just didn't care. Like he would already accepted. Like he
Yeah.
was still trying to get away. At this point,
Yeah.
he was getting into cars, trying to figure out ways to drive away. Like, that's one of the pickups he tried to jump into. I don't know if that's the one with the kill switch or not. It looks like it might be. You know, he was still trying to actually get away. I think Larry he was like, nah. Phillips was just like, this is it. And he was high as hell, so I guess that helped him. And this is him getting, yeah, because he's got the assault rifle still at this point. Yeah, so that's definitely a mill. Showing the size of the bullets that they had compared to the police.
7.62 is that, or is it 5.5?
I don't know. It's bigger than 9mm.
Yeah.
But this is near the end of it, though, for him. I think this might be where the SWAT come out. Because the SWAT were driving around in the police cars. They weren't even in SWAT vans or anything. It looks like the SWAT, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah, I think that is where because they said that they realised that he didn't have any body armour on his legs, so that's what they went for in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like them going down, look. Yeah, and this is, if you notice, when they get up to him and like they have the gun on him, you can't quite see actually when they go over to him. You know, hot, so hot, like I said, that the seat is in the back of his neck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put on something that probably better though. To show you, you know, some of the footage, and I know I can put the volume on because I don't think you'd be the kind of person that would do a thingy, do a claim.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. That's not my history. So it's if you want, like, you know, the full story with the full breakdown of exactly how it happened with an explanation of the guns and everything, then this is the person to go to. It's Wendy Goon.
Oh yeah, he always does a good job.
Doesn't do that many because I think he spends so much time on each one when he does the long ones anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see, I've got Abbott now. It's weird. I'm like one of you commoners. Get big. There we go.
And Larry was running his own business that we'll talk about, but for reasons I'll talk about later, I and
I think it's a great idea. House sitters get somewhere to stay, and we, the house owners, get someone to look after our home and our animals. And
it makes it a very equal relationship.
Oh, God. Anyway, yeah.
That was enough Hollywood Shootout in a nutshell.
Yeah.
They tried, they failed. They tried to shoot again, they failed again.
Failed again.
One did succeed in killing himself.
That doesn't help.
It helped him.
Did it?
He died a lot quicker than the other guy, to be
Well,
fair.
Yeah, yeah.
And even if he had have
Yeah.
been saved, then he'd just been on a long process going through the trials and the courts and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I still would prefer that than, you know, death. Personally.
I would.
And I think he would as well, to be fair, because he was trying to get away.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah.
but
It doesn't. It didn't. I don't know. it's not really the same level of bank robbing as in like. I'm trying to think
You're
of
gonna
a-
insult their levels now.
as in
but
Heat. It's not like Heat level. You know, it's not a bunch of
that
real.
was a film that one of them really loved. Why is
Yeah.
that?
I'm sure.
That was one that they were really into.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another bit I heard on.
Yeah,
I think his
Heat
one.
was a film that starred Al Pacino and Val Kilmer.
Sounds like
and,
just a recipe for an action film.
Yeah, it's a fucking it's actually genuinely a really good film. And the amazing thing about that film is that the director made the film once before, basically beat for beat, same script in some places, almost exactly the same film.
I heard about stuff like that.
And it was panned, except then he did it again with this new group of actors after he'd sort of done a few other movies, and it was a massive success.
It was like a passion project always for him. And I can do this better.
Yeah, so he sort of came back round and fucking finished it off.
I didn't know that.
But Heat is a great film, and you can see that these guys clearly were like off their faces on those drugs, just sitting there every night, just watching Heat and going like, "Hey man, we could do that."
I don't see how they could be off their faces constantly off those drugs though, because they were prescribed for some reason.
Yeah.
I know you can get a prescription and get a refill constantly.
Yeah.
Back then,
especially in America, has always had an easier access to prescription drugs,
despite having a harder access to hospitals and stuff. Maybe that's why they have an easier access to drugs then.
Probably.
It probably is actually.
It's also because it's private, so that you are actually paying for the drugs. You give someone money to get the drugs.
Oh, you'd
as opposed to in America, in the UK, where it's just like, you need the drugs. Well, there's a prescription charge, but other than that, you have your
but that's probably what you had there too, like some form of prescription charge.
Oh no, you pay for the drugs.
Oh, okay.
That's what private healthcare is. It's either you pay for the drugs or your life or your healthcare provider pays.
Unless they've got insurance.
Yeah, but the insurance aren't going to pay for just random barbiturates all the time.
Oh, what's the fucking point then?
Yeah.
What's the point? Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well that's fine then. Okay, yeah. But there was another film I was watching something about like most expensive. What was it now? Most expensive films. Biggest budgets and all that.
Yeah.
And originally, like back in the day, like the biggest films they like broke $1 million. Like some of the ones were like the 10 Commandments and then Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
But then like 20 or 30 years later, in like the 50s or 60s, they made new versions of those films that broke ground again with like the biggest like amount that was spent on them.
Yeah.
And it was actually the same director that did Ben-Hur both times, which I found really interesting.
That is interesting.
So he'd already done it before and everything, but like he had all this new stuff to play with now, bigger and more money.
So it made it bigger and more money.
That was giant. 10 Commandments was a different person, but that was huge too. It was the first time like they used these special effects where they showed it like where they were splitting the
part in the sea.
And it looked terrible by today's standards.
Yeah, I was shown that in fucking RE class when I was younger.
Well, really?
Yeah.
Probably that film you mean?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's Charlton Heston.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Wait, is that the 30s one or the 50s one?
No, I think it might be the 50s one. Yeah, the 60s one.
Well, actually, I think the other ones weren't they were in silent. They were silent films, I think.
Oh, right.
They were still kind of that era, weren't they? 30s. So.
Oh, no. This is later than that. Charlton Heston. Yeah. Charlton Heston was like 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Let my people go.
You're wow. Key.
Yeah. I never claimed to be a Hestonite.
Yeah, man, I have no idea what he sounds like.
Yeah, well,
I literally no idea what he sounds like.
It sounds like Charlton Heston.
Yeah. So I'm imagining, from what
you can pry it out of my cold, dead hands.
I'm talking some of the other ones because, they were adjusting for inflation and all that with it,
Yeah.
When they were going through the different times and stuff. Because there were some ones on there that really surprised me. Oh, they'll come to me as I go. I don't know. They'll come to me.
Come to him.
My brain's stuck on bank heist right now. So
I mean, the entire time you were talking about, I was going like, man, I wish I could play Payday.
What? Or doing the bank heist thing?
Yeah. Is it Payday shit?
Oh, Yeah, I regularly wish I can play shit games.
No,
for
it's
me
that,
then.
it's that thing. It's like, have you ever seen a game where you're like, I wish I could enjoy that game, but I just don't like that game.
I kind of feel like that in general with football and FIFA.
Right. See, because Payday is supposed to be like a quote unquote like arcadey, like bank robbery simulator. So you go in,
Okay.
you rob the bank.
I recognise the name. I know what you're on
Yeah,
about. I've
you
never
go out,
played
all
it.
that kind of stuff, and it's all sort of co-op stuff against the computer. But all of the enemies come in and they just sort of rush in straight away, and they're just shooting at you. And there's like specialist cops who come running in and like karate kick you down and stuff. And
As
it's like,
we all see when you have cops and the
to me, it's just like I don't enjoy that bullshit added into a game of what I want, which is
it's an arcade game, isn't it?
yeah, that's it. I don't want the arcadey thing. I want it to be like, okay, simulate a proper
More
bank robbery.
simulation, yeah.
I want to have actual police doing actual things to sort of come up.
It'd be a good thing to put in a new GTA, like a
It
proper
would be.
bank robbery
Yeah.
thing. It makes a lot of sense, really.
Yeah.
That would be a very cool thing to put in. Did you see about on the original San Andreas GTA when they brought it out before it actually came out? Sorry, they had a whole idea that they wanted to have sex acts in it with your girlfriend. When you got high enough with your girlfriends,
Right.
they invite you in, which they still do in the game. They invite you in for coffee, and then they do mini games to like head and all
fuck.
that.
Yeah.
And obviously, the people when they showed it to the centers and all that, were like, no, just no, unless you want, like an 18+
But
game.
the code is still in the game.
But basically, they were told, no, because of how they'd done it, they were like, if we take some of this code out, it's going to screw up other bits, or it might do. And it would just be a ball out. And I understand that logic with certain things.
Instead, they just take the interaction set piece away from it to start the game,
and you just stay outside while he goes in as well. When they do a quick
exactly.
bit.
But the game play is still technically there.
Which is why when it came out on PC, the modders looked into it, found it straight away, and then it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Even on the PlayStation 2 ones as well, to the point that they had to recall all of them and then release a new version of it. And if you look at, if you still got a game, if you look on there, if it says like second generation or something like that, then you've got the one where they've properly taken it out. And if you haven't got that, you've got the one where it's still in there, which are obviously worth a lot more. So if you look at the game and you've got that there, then you've got one that's worth so much more.
Yeah.
Like normally when you have, normally when you have an old game that's really popular, it's worth a lot.
Yeah.
But this is like, like a rated R version kind of thing. Because there is sex acts in there and it is explicit. How do you ever thought that would be okay for kids? I mean, I say that though, and you're killing prostitutes and shit. So
there was apparently
it's a horrendous game.
Having said that, there was a rule in PlayStation,
right,
that they would not allow sexually explicit content on the consoles. Like they could have actual explicit sex acts.
Yeah. You could have nakedness, but not acts. Yeah.
You weren't even allowed to have actual full nakedness.
Oh, you only have boobs, don't you?
Yeah, it's like boobs at most, or implied nakedness, or implied sex, or implied stuff is fine, but they don't ever show it. And then they got to Last of Us 2, and apparently they proper show it, like a full proper sex scene between Abby, the character, and some other character, and it's going on for a while.
Two girls, I'm guessing. Is
No, a guy and a girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and apparently,
is it bad that just makes you want to play Last of Us 2 more now? Because I don't think I ever finished it.
Yeah, no, I never finished it. I've not even played it. I've finished the first one now.
Yeah, because you're using Ellie the whole time, aren't you? Yeah, it wasn't as good.
I need to play the second one, but literally,
there's so much fucking cinematics in it, and it's all fucking pushing wokeism on you. That's why I got bothered with it. I remember now. Oh, it is, man. It's one of them. It's like experience my woke world in this fucking apocalypse.
Yeah. Still got to use the right pronouns in the apocalypse.
Well, yeah, that's what it was. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
Oh, be lesbian.
Because that's what cool. People are really going to give a shit about at that time.
Yeah, deaf and pronouns. Replace taxes.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh.
That's hilarious.
Like, you know, I just yeah.
No, but I do. I haven't watched the series that much either because I just feel it all wokey. It feels wokey. I love the first game. That's the problem. I love the first game, and then even at the end of that, I could feel it. I could tell.
It's got. I'm not gonna lie. It's got some wokey stuff in it.
Yeah.
It's got some wokey. It's got a bit of
Wokeism
woke on.
shouldn't be permeating games.
It's got its woke on a little bit.
It
Yeah.
does. Imagine if fucking GTA 6 comes out,
Yeah.
and it's woke. Already kind of is because you're playing as a lady. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with playing as a lady and a man. That's fine.
I find woke is such a strange term.
It used to be a good thing.
It's not.
I used to
Even,
consider myself woke.
yeah. It's not even like. It's become a sort of joke upon itself. Wokeness now. It's like if you call yourself woke,
You're not woke.
Not even that. You're actively an annoying person. Like
Yeah.
being woke as to like, oh god, it just sounds
Being
stupid.
woke now is
I've
like
never
being
been
one of those
okay
activists.
with woke. Can I say that I've never been okay with woke as a term because it is just fucking dumb. It is a stupid
Oh, I'm
way
okay with
to explain yourself. It's a stupid fucking word to use as a fucking definition of political terms. It
That's
is
dumb.
just in general dumb as shit. And I can't
But it never used to
stand
mean
it.
that. Your woke just used to mean like originally, just like you know, like
Are you chill with people?
well, no, like you know, like being more of a free thinker,
Yeah.
being a bit more open in your
Being
head.
a bit more awoke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And now it means pretty much opposite that.
Yeah, it
It's
means
like a
you have to
cult.
believe this rigid dogma.
It's a cult. It's done well. I don't know how. It's like a
But you
new
see,
religion.
You've got the other side of it as well, because then you've got the people who sort of go, oh, you know, the culture war warrior guys who like meme all the time and stuff like that, which is also, it's fine if you want to go down that path, but these two sides of it, it's like one side is like, you've got to do this, and the other side is like, you've got to do that. And
You don't have to do either. Suck my balls. You
yeah, I
said
don't have to do
anything.
either. I don't have to do either of these fucking things. I can be
I'm a
fine.
centrist.
Yeah, I mean, we did that political fucking thing, didn't we? And it was like literally either side of the fucking central line.
Well, I think we were both still leaning the same way, though. I think on it.
I think it
Can't
was.
remember.
No, I think we were both slightly Democrat. I think you were, or were you slightly? No, you might have been slightly more Republican than Democrat.
Yeah, yeah.
But either way, we were both sort of a lot closer to the middle. And what's
I
his
thought
face?
it was an English one, so I'm definitely not.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it was Labour and Tories and all
no,
that.
that's a different thing. That's different.
God
thing.
knows, mate.
No, we
Who
did it.
cares,
We did
is
it for the American one.
I
Fuck the British shit. This is a fucking shit show. The
Oh, mate, it
whole of the
really
of
is.
the British fucking political system is an absolute fucking joke.
Do you want to hear some of the stuff that they do in Parliament? Because it's not going to be enough for a full podcast
Let's
at all. And
fucking
I've got
do
it
it.
on there already.
Let's fucking do it.
Because it's fucking
Let's
crazy,
fucking do
man.
it, son. Let's talk about all this stupid shit that they do all the fucking time. Where they're like, the right honourable gentleman
that's
should lick
nothing.
his own bumhole.
I don't think they do that.
No, they never say that because they're never allowed to. Instead,
Oh,
they
they want
say,
to.
well, I think you'll find the right honourable gentleman should think about the time in Sudbury North where he flubbed his line on a speech about immigration. Blah, 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 blah. It's fucking so dumb.
Or do you want to know something else, Tom?
Yeah.
We pick our laws out of a goldfish bowl.
What?
You heard me.
What? No, what? We
I don't know
don't.
about a big
That's not
advert. just
right.
pop
We can't
up.
be doing that.
An advert just covered my whole screen. It popped up. But
Why the fuck is
Oh,
why
there
is
we go.
Olivia Colman on your screen?
Because she's wrapping some clothes. What's your problem with Olivia Coleman? Private member bills are laws suggested by a private member of parliament that are not part of the government planned programme of legislation. These bills are not listed by manifestos and they rarely become law. It begs the question of why we bother with them in the first place.
What
It
the
really does.
fuck?
Because there isn't time to discuss every MP's idea for a new law, each year the MPs who are allowed to introduce a bill are picked out of a hat. And this year they were selected from a goldfish bowl. Oh, so it's not always a goldfish bowl, it's a different thing.
Is it a tombola sometimes? Is it a fucking raffle?
It's a
My
lucky dip?
fucking God, the British political system is not a fucking country fair. Jesus
Well, You
Christ!
say it's not, but what sort of country fair? There's a lot of gypsies, and they kind of kidnap like their wives, don't they? And funnily enough, an MP is kidnapped every year.
Oh, what the fuck? Why?
During the Queen's speech, it is customary for an MP to be kidnapped and held hostage at Buckingham Palace. This is so the reigning monarch has a bargaining tool in case anything happens to them during their time at the House of Parliament.
This is. Oh my God! This is the UK all over. This is the
This is
UK
from the
all
16th
over.
century. This is just so you know.
Yeah.
This carries on from the 16th century.
This is
right
the
here.
UK all over. Well, we do it now because it's tradition. Why? Because it's tradition. But it's a pointless waste of expenditure. But it's tradition.
Yeah, they used to have like legitimately before when the Queen used to go in, like into Parliament, there would be a chance, you know, that she would get attacked.
Yeah.
To
This
the
is why
point-
I wanted to
She's
move to.
not even allowed in Parliament now. Well, she is now. She
Yeah,
should be, but she doesn't go in.
yeah.
She still only goes to the House of Commons because at one point some guy came in, one of the kings, asking for the MP, and they refused to tell him where they were or something.
Right.
Oh, there's some shit.
This is why I want to live in a different country
Still
because this
happens.
fucking country is so backwards. It likes to put up this front that we're this oh so special important country, but we're not. We're just fucking worthless. We're so stupid. We shoot ourselves in the foot constantly because it's what we've always done, and therefore we should always do it. And we should always talk with stupid, flouncy words in Parliament because that's what we've always done. We started doing that in the 1500s, don't you know? Oh, well, that's good. That's good, isn't it? We should definitely keep doing things that we've done for 500 years without questioning it because that's definitely going to be worth doing still now. Half a fucking millennia ago,
Yep.
we're sticking with shit we did half a millennia ago, and America wasn't even made yet.
Oh, nowhere near it. No, yeah, we're following shit from before even America was around.
How embarrassing is that?
Oh no, 16th century. No. America. Was
Oh,
around
in
by
America, at
then.
least they want change. At least they
17 or
want to move
16.
stuff forwards. At least they want to do different things. In the UK, it's like, no,
Well,
thank you very much.
here-
I want to have a garden and I want to water it and I want the Queen to be there or my king or whoever's there.
Well, the funny thing is, though, if you don't like what they're saying in Parliament, you can stop any debate by running in and running off with a golden stick.
What?
There is a golden mace in Parliament that resides in the chamber when Parliament is in session, and it represents the authority of the Queen. Any debate that is carried out without the mace in its place is illegal.
Why?
And if you think no, they wouldn't stop. No one would give a shit if they took a mate that if they removed it. It means nothing. In 2009, the now Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell got in a serious drop over Heathrow expansion, marched down the stairs and took the mace back to the seat with him, and he was swiftly suspended after a telling off from the speaker. Talking about the speaker, he has to be dragged into work.
What?
When a new Speaker of the House is elected, they are physically dragged into the chair by two MPs. That is because in the centuries past, he would have to announce anything, and if the Queen or the monarch didn't like what he announced, off goes the head. So they had to
So
be
they had
dragged
to-
in and forced
Oh, for fuck's sake.
because nobody ever
Oh,
wanted to do
for
it.
Fuck's sake. This is so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
There's somebody called a Black Rod, isn't there, in it? Yeah, the senior officer of the House of Lords.
It's cult shit.
Yeah, oh,
It's
completely.
literal
Oh,
cult shit.
100%. Yeah, it is. That's why
It's
she doesn't
not a
change.
fucking. It's not a government anymore. It's its own religion.
You say anymore? How long? Maybe
How long has
it's
this
always been
yeah,
like
it's
it.
always
Probably.
been like it, basically. Yeah.
Like I probably reckon it has been.
yeah.
Like I reckon religion is a lot more followed deep down in these things than it is any like
Yeah.
they still give a lot of shit about that stuff.
It is.
They've
so...
got their own kind of build. What was that one that Alex Jones went to? The old owl thing that the Americans.
Oh yeah,
do?
yeah. The
Oh, it's with a
something
B,
Grove.
isn't it? Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove.
They've got we've probably got our own Bohemian Grove somewhere
definitely.
secretly. Probably underground.
It's
in,
probably
like,
on a royal fucking like
train line.
somewhere.
Been shut down. Or
Probably
there are
in
train lines.
Balmoral or something.
Yeah, or the train lines that have been shut down, isn't there, all underneath?
Oh
But
yeah. They've
Could be
probably got
somewhere
a
in there.
fucking dirty little sex club that they all go to do adrenochrome and fucking cocaine and pound teenagers.
yeah, all of the above.
Yeah,
I mean, they're probably more likely to snort the bones of teenagers, to be honest.
probably. It's so fucking.
Where they're hiding Andrew.
But this is why I hate this country so much when it comes to this shit. It's like, why are we doing this? Why are we still doing something which is absolutely pointless?
No, but it's tradition. Are we talking
It's
about
tradition.
pointless?
It's tradition.
It's not pointless.
Stick your tradition up your butthole.
Well, we do slam the door on the black rod 3 times. So that's a bit of, annoyance to get out for you.
The what?
The Black Rod, which is the senior officer in the House of Lords, during the state opening of Parliament, he bangs on the door of the Commons chamber with a black rod, and then the door is quickly slammed in his face to iterate the independence of the Commons. He bangs on the door 3 times, and then he and the MPs in tow are allowed in.
Why?
Because tradition. What do you mean? Why? Why?
Why? Why can't people just turn up at work and do their fucking job? Why do they have to have a pageant? It's not like I go to work, Carl, right? I don't go to work and then expect there to be fucking a carpet rolled out before I'll go up. And then I have to knock on the door to the actual office and say, hiddledy biddledy boo, the monkey ate a shrew. And they go, why did it eat a shrew? And I say, because it was hungry. And they say, well, come in. Smack me on the ass 3 times with a fucking fly swatter, and then I can go to work. Just do your fucking jobs.
Well, they can't all do their jobs.
Christ.
Because there is 650 elected MPs in the House of Commons, but only 427 seats.
Brilliant.
Which leads to when you see like them actually all in there for some reason.
And they're all stood up.
They're all stood up. That's why.
Like it's a fucking U2 concert.
But there is a way you can bag a seat. You can bag a seat though. If you get in early at 8 a.m, you can get a prayer card and place it where you would like to sit later on that day. But you do have to be there to attend prayers in order to do this. And you also have to face the wall throughout the prayer.
There should definitely be prayers. There should definitely be prayers absolutely happening in the fucking governmental fucking building.
In the place
where laws are made. That's absolutely fine. There's no such thing as division of church and state.
I'm going to say literally the only thing that Henry VIII did that was good.
Yeah. Division of church.
He was giant when he was done, you know.
Oh, yeah. He blew up his
huge.
casket, according to some.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah, he popped his casket because he was so fat.
It's amazing.
And just decomposed and poop.
They have back to school. They have coat pegs at thingy too. They all have their coat pegs with a little bit where they can hang their sword.
Of course.
They tie up loose laws literally with ribbons to be signed off before making its way to royal assent. Tied up with a green ribbon, and they're written on $80,000 animal skins.
What? Why?
Because what? Do you mean why?
Why? Why can't you just use paper or digitize it at this point? Why do you have to be spending £80,000 to write something down? You fucking idiots! Think about the amount of money that is right every year, because they're not just doing one. They're probably doing.
That's the full year.
Still £80,000 every year that could be going on healthcare.
So that's
that
nothing
could be going on police. That is still
to them. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's 2 police officers on the beat for an entire fucking year. But no, let's write down on a bit of animal skin because that makes us feel important.
It is literally that, man. Like
I'm
just tired of really going over it in my head because it is just that they don't care.
They don't care, and they don't see what they're doing as wrong because it's tradition. Because we've always done it.
I mean, the other stuff, I think there's maybe, like you said, I think the culty stuff was a good way to put it. I think they all meet together underneath the ground somewhere.
They do.
Pray to someone.
I shit you not. There's the podcast with George Osborne, who was like the Conservative Chancellor,
Yeah.
and Ed Balls, who
Yeah.
was like the guy who was constantly berating him throughout his entire career as the Labour guy,
Right.
and they've got a podcast.
What's that got to do with
They're
an
friends,
underground?
dude. They're friends.
Right.
They're all friends. They
Oh,
don't,
okay,
it
okay,
doesn't
yeah.
matter what political party they're
Right.
from. They're all mates. They all sit down in
It
the
feels
same
like that.
thing.
They're all the same thing to
They're
me.
all
It
the
really
same
feels like
fucking
that.
thing. They don't
does
have
feel
any
like that.
differences of
Yeah.
opinion. They just have a different color that they put on.
A different way
That's
they
why
try
Liz
and portray
Truss,
it.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why Liz Truss just jumped from Labour into fucking Conservative, and now we've had a
Did it?
load of Conservatives jumping from Conservative into fucking Labour because Labour are in power. And well, hey, I don't give a shit who it is,
Oh, I didn't know
provided
that.
I'm the winner.
I didn't know there was all these
Yeah.
jumping. I mean, they would say though it's because, like I said, with the other thing, the goalposts are always moving now. But I
Yeah,
don't
but-
think that's quite the same with us.
But that's
Like you said, we're stuck in our ways, so
it's
the
because
goalposts aren't changing.
those two parties have they're just basically this.
They're the same
one
fucking
blob.
thing. They are one thing.
They've got different flavors on either side, but it's using the same fucking
I
ingredients.
think that's kind of like what Reform is trying to point out without being able to say it almost.
yeah.
Because I kind of feel like there's a lot of people that know more about how it really works, but obviously you've been thrown with NDAs with all that kind of stuff. I imagine
Yeah.
there's NDAs all over the place or whatever.
There's gotta be stuff.
Whatever our equivalent is. I don't know what. We don't even
Or
have
a high
freedom of
court
speech anyway.
injunction.
Okay, that yeah.
Yeah.
We don't even have freedom of speech anyway, so it's got to be easier for
Yeah,
us.
Incredibly
Like
easy.
easy.
They
Yeah,
can
no, I do
gag.
agree with that.
They
Gotta be
they
much
gag
easier.
newspaper stories all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, no, you're not doing that. What do you mean I'm not doing that? No, you're not.
And online stuff
Fucking
now,
unbelievable.
as I've seen all the time. Honestly, people try, watch a load of stuff on YouTube, have a look
Yeah.
at search results,
Just literally
and it-
search with a VPN on
Yeah,
for
that's
something that's not even like that weird. Just something that seems innocuous about news, and then do
News
it
is a good one
again
to
with
do
the VPN off.
Yeah.
And just see what the differences
well,
are.
yeah, just load up like a search for some stuff and then like turn the VPN off and
You might
suddenly
need
see
to
load
try a
stuff
couple of
disappear.
different times, but you'll start seeing it.
Yeah, it keeps happening for me. I'm watching something and then I'll realize my VPN is on. I'll turn it off and then all of a sudden, it disappeared now.
Yeah.
And then
And that is messed up because they haven't actually sort of outright told us that's happening,
no, not
but
at
it's
all.
happening.
Not at all. I mean, they told us, but no, they haven't really. No.
I mean,
I'm trying to
why?
remember what those new laws were that came into place about internet stuff.
I don't know.
There was something.
There've been loads of things that they've brought in about internet law,
Yeah.
especially in this country, and it's by people who don't understand the internet as well. They don't understand what the internet is used for or what people
I
do.
think they probably do in a sense.
I think they do, but the problem is they block off enormous things, enormous chunks of the internet. So you're not allowed to use any of that, and it's like, but that's not actually inherently bad. It's just that it's related to something that might be inherently bad. So you're like, block it all.
Yeah.
Because you can only block a search term. You can't block like individual things. You just got to go, right, we block everything because there's so many different websites. You can't do every single individual.
Oh, you would
one.
have to. Yeah.
You just go to Google and say they're not allowed to Google these
It's more.
words.
It seems more like that they just have the ear of YouTube,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Which they probably do because I mean we know, like for example, that in America, Meta, like Facebook have had to admit to the whole Hunter Biden. What was that? Twitter? And it might have been Twitter.
I can't remember.
It might have been Twitter. The whole Hunter Biden laptop stuff.
Right.
That they were suppressing stuff about it during the election, the 2020 election, which and there's some other thing they were suppressing that and something else, which argue would make a big difference for Trump in that election,
Right.
because these stories that would put Biden in a bad light were being purposely suppressed.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that has all come out. Twitter did something, but I feel like Facebook did something too.
Yeah.
I forget who did what.
Well, Facebook have come out and said that they're not doing the fact checking shit anymore as well. So
Oh, have they?
yeah.
So what's that exactly? That would be.
So literally, when it comes up and there's like a post by someone and it says, according to data checkers, this is actually this and this and this and this. Not going to happen anymore. Just gone.
That's good because it's probably getting so much of a bore. Like we get making sure they had the right info or something. And
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of
ultimately-
time, the right info is there's this on this side and this other possibility.
Yeah.
That's the right info. That there's more than one
Yeah.
possibility.
There's an app out there. I can't remember what it's called, but it literally it breaks down a story. So you find a story and then you get the different articles from the different people who have all like reported on the same story,
Yeah.
and it will show
yeah,
you
yeah.
on
I
a
see what you're saying.
spectrum
Yeah.
where their sort of political
I've seen
leanings
that.
are. So that you can read that article and because it go that's hard left, that's hard
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
this, that's that, that's
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and then you can sort of see the whole picture as opposed to just what all fucking journalism does now, which is just basically this is my opinion on the matter, and therefore we go from there. Not this is the fact.
This is our
matter.
side, and we're going to report it from this side,
Yeah.
leaning on this side first.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed
Yeah.
to just these are the facts of the matter. Make your own decision on the
Mhm.
opinion, which is what journalism should be.
Yeah.
It should be a factual piece about the information of the day. It shouldn't be your opinion piece unless you're saying this is an opinion piece. But everything is an opinion piece now. Everything is political now.
I mean, everything should be an opinion piece in the sense that you should always like have your own opinion on things anyway.
Oh, it's always going to be affected by the writer to a certain extent, but it's like there's a difference between like taking the fact and then sort of saying, and therefore I extrapolate this, and this is what we mean.
Yeah. I thought I got was on about news.
Yeah.
That should be more, a bit fact based.
Yeah.
I did watch something that I found quite interesting. Because all the January 6 people being pardoned by Trump, which I'm fine with. I don't know about the violent ones because I didn't know there was people that tased coppers and stuff. But at the same time, tasered is a lot more of a chilled way of doing stuff. It's like
it's not good though. It's
no, but it's like it's much better than shooting them in the head.
Assaulting a police officer.
Much better than shooting them in the head. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
though.
but it's still assault of a police.
Still assaulting a police officer, but you know what I'm saying.
He also
the non-lethal.
He also let go the guy who was in charge of the
some fucked up
Spice
thing,
Road,
wasn't
is
it?
it, or something? Silk Road.
Oh, is that who it was?
Yeah. Dread Pirate Roberts, mate.
Oh, I'd heard about the person that
the guy who literally tried to get someone else killed in a sting operation with an FBI agent.
Oh, yes.
And he's just released him from jail.
Oh, yeah, I'd forgotten about that. I have watched that whole story.
Yeah.
Like I watched something all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a bit more than what people are saying when they got all this prison time for like making a website.
Yeah, no.
Like, well, it's a bit more than making a website.
No,
he did get way too much time though.
Yeah,
they should have reduced the time.
It's technically entrapment.
Definitely should have reduced it.
Extent, you could argue because it was literally an FBI agent posing.
Yeah, but he had to go out looking for it first to be entrapped.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, he was literally looking to have someone killed.
Yeah.
So.
But like I said, attempted or conspiracy to murder is a lot less than actual murder.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't have got
he
like,
had,
two life
terms
terms
and 43 years.
14 years and 2 life sentences,
parole.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, or 43, with no parole. So that is way too much.
Yeah.
Just because of what he did. And it's like,
I mean,
especially considering how many of them there are now anyway.
Had less time than that.
Yeah, pedophiles less time than that.
Yeah.
Serial killers less time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 2 life terms. How does it even work?
No, it doesn't make sense.
And then 43 years on top.
With no
what
parole.
does that mean?
With no parole, so you're not even allowed to question that. So why bother with the 2 life sentences? If it's 1 life sentence without parole, that's exactly the same as 2 life sentences without parole because he can't parole it.
I don't understand this.
It's so stupid.
It's really stupid.
It's so stupid.
I understand. Like he should have, in that sense. Then yes, I agree with doing it.
Yeah.
But then I would argue. But at the same time, though, if you're probably double jeopardy. You're not allowed to do it again.
Yeah.
And that's not his. That's the government's fault for going so over the top with him. Someone's come up there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I still agree with it because as much as I don't think he should be out then or should be off scot-free completely, the amount of time he's probably already done though is probably equal to what he should have got anyway.
I don't know how long he's been in there.
I think that's why I got 14 in my head. I think he's been there 14 years.
That would make
because it wasn't recent.
No, it wasn't recent.
So that might be a bit more,
Yeah, but that's who he's released, and the reason why is because he's a big libertarian. Like,
maybe he was pissed off because he used to use Silk Road.
Maybe. He was a big libertarian poster boy, and libertarians are huge fans of Silk Road and stuff like that because it's like you shouldn't be able to tell me what I can do or what I can't buy.
See, I'm totally a libertarian in that case because that's totally me. Like, you should not be allowed.
The
to
only
tell
problem
me
with
that.
the libertarians is that then they also believe that everything should be privatized, including healthcare and roads and infrastructure.
Don't tell me what I believe.
And it's like, that's where
I
it
don't
falls
believe
apart
that.
for me.
Yeah,
it's like there are certain things that should be run by the government for the
definitely
good, and then everything else should be sort of able to be run.
Yeah, I don't
As
think there
in-
shouldn't
as
be a
in-
government. As much as I like the idea, like hearing like Russell
Yeah.
Brand talk about it, even though I can't listen to him anymore.
No,
I realise this. I try to like him, but I don't.
yeah,
Um,
it's hard, isn't it?
it is hard. He
Yeah.
he just tries to talk.
He's
so
such a
smart.
pretentious pain in the
Yeah,
arse.
he really is.
He really is, and that's the thing. Like you had like drip feeds of it over a long period of time because you were sort of interacting with the social media stuff.
No, it wasn't. Well, I don't.
Well, no,
social
you were
media. What are you
watching.
talking
You were
about?
watching the YouTube stuff and things.
Oh, yeah,
weren't you?
YouTube, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Okay, not
Yeah.
the long form.
No,
either.
no. Yeah, but
The clips.
I had it all in one big lump sum because I got his book on Audible.
Oh
Revolution,
yeah, and he reads it, doesn't he? As
and he
well?
reads it, and I'm just listening through it, and like about halfway through the book, I'm like,
I don't like him.
wow, you're really not as smart as you think you are.
Yeah, he's
Like
not.
there's so many points that he makes, and it's just like, yeah, but that's just wrong, and that doesn't make sense. And think about that for a second, because that's stupid. And it's just like,
A lot of us are probably smarter, dumber than we think we are as well. Though
Yeah.
I think we do it too.
Of course we do.
Well, I don't know actually.
I don't know. I do tend to think I'm stupider than I am. I think.
You think you're stupider than you are? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I tend to know things sometimes that I'm not entirely sure where I know it from.
yeah.
You know,
I do that, and then as soon as you say it, you're like,
Yeah.
wait, do I know that?
or is that just something I made up?
Yeah. I question my memory a lot
Yeah.
ever since I got told that the ghost that I saw was a bag.
Yeah.
That's made me question all my memories
Yeah.
and everyone as well, because I'm like, did you know it was a bag then?
Memories are completely fucking bullshit.
Yeah, they are. Every time you think of a memory, you edit it.
Yeah.
Every time
Every
you
single
think of a
time.
memory,
Yeah.
which is why, people are like, well, how can 20 years later you have these regressed or whatever it's called, like memories that are like
Yeah.
you push back, don't
Yeah.
want to think about. That's why when they're in hypnosis and they think about it for the first time, they're so clear
Yeah.
and it works so well. It's because they haven't accessed them
For ages.
so long, so they're bang on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucked. That's fucked. But there we go.
Ah, it's not that fucked. I mean, oh yeah, that was what I meant to say. Sorry. One thing that I found really interesting is I was watching an interview with about 4 people. He was one of them. The shaman guy from January 6th. Can't remember what they called it. The QAnon shaman.
yeah,
is
yeah,
what they called him,
the bear-headed dude.
with the like
the
horns
bear
and
skin.
stuff.
Yeah.
walking around.
Yeah.
He was on there, and he was more reasonable than I think I expected him to be. He was never with QAnon, first of all, as well.
Right.
He was always just with Q, which I didn't know that was a thing, but that's
Right.
apparently
Yeah.
another thing.
Okay.
And he was talking about how the media never talked about the fact that he was actually guided in there by police because he was trying to calm people down and stuff.
Right.
And that explains some of the things that I'd seen, because I'd seen the video of the police guiding him around,
Right.
taking him into somewhere, and I'm like, that makes no sense. That's what kind of made it seem a big conspiracy at the time.
Yeah.
But that makes so much more sense now, him saying that, because he was apparently when Trump tried to tell everybody to leave, he was like playing that to them, telling them to go. But yeah, obviously everybody was already
Yeah.
crazy by then.
Yeah. Bit of a fervor. But how long have we been going for actually? Ooh,
It's a
2:13.
good time anyway.
Yeah, I think that's a good time to.
You want to
just-
call that to get
call it
a
down,
day? Call that a what kind of
Call-
think of the phrase?
Call that a day.
Call that a day?
Yeah.
Call that a day.
Call
I was
it a
about to say
day.
call it a night,
Call
but that
it,
didn't seem right.
call it a testicle.
I didn't mean to rhyme then.
Pull on a testicle.
Pull on a testicle.
No.
No?
No.
I mean, I do sometimes.
I do.
Depends what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Sometimes I flick my testicle.
Sometimes I scratch them. Sometimes you have to pull them to get the scratch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes they're all sort of like they've sort of shrunk up a little bit and wrinkled,
I don't know. I think
and it's like you can't get in between the wrinkles, so you got to sort of
I don't get a lot of
play
shrinkage,
it like
man.
a
I
banjo.
ooh, that sounds painful. I'm not gonna lie. That is like it seems about it, for me. For some reason, the image in my head was like you trying to use a dry razor on your nutsack.
Oh,
Which forget that.
yeah, no, I'm not doing that. No, take your balls off.
Ugh. Well, no, I don't know.
No
though.
one wants that. No one wants their
if it
balls
was-
off.
I don't know. Being a eunuch sounds kind of peaceful.
Really?
It does sound peaceful. Never thinking about the effort of getting horny. Never being like, oh, I need to find someone to bang, or
Mm.
ugh, You know, I gotta masturbate or something. You know.
You just focused on your art.
Yeah, like, all
Yeah.
your energy just goes to that, ain't it?
Yeah.
You're probably like such a chill person too,
Yeah.
because you got no testosterone going in you and all
Yeah,
that
you
pumping
just
around, yeah,
fucking-
making you go toxic.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can start using Zer. You can start being a Zer.
Oh, is that the
Yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah.
And you can go to I don't know what you'd be then. Would you be? I don't know.
I don't know.
I just feel like you'd probably be very peaceful. It'd be like being somebody that's had the electroshock therapy.
Yeah.
The proper
Yeah.
like, you know, I bet they feel
Do you mean
so
lobotomy?
Yeah,
fucking
lobotomy, sorry.
So like the
Yeah.
punk- yeah.
yeah, you feel so
Yeah.
peaceful.
Yeah.
Fucked, you know.
Yeah.
Fucked as hell. But I bet you feel cool.
Yeah. Unless I don't know, because you can't really ask someone with a lobotomy how.
No,
it
it's like
feels.
being drugged up the house. I bet they just feel like they're drugged up forever and they
Unless
just don't know it.
unless there's like inside there's like a part of them that's still
Oh,
like
let me
screaming.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't make sense. We're not in a film here.
Yes, we are.
It's not, are we?
Always
Are
in-
we? Is that what it is?
Yeah, we're always in a film.
Oh, damn. Okay. When I get to finish this, and I'm going to go jump into the screen.
Don't do that.
Why not?
It's not fucking Last Action Hero. You don't have a golden ticket.
I'll put it. I'll break the internet. It's not that
No,
film.
no, it's not that one.
I still haven't watched that.
No, neither
Apparently,
have
it's not worth it.
I. Oh. That's why they didn't make a third one then, because the first
Probably.
one was gangbusters.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
Yeah.
I listened to somebody that had that opinion of the first one, and
Yeah.
the second one is just a bit like, nah.
Moana was apparently like Moana 2 was supposed to be just a sort of streaming straight to thing, like a cheapy version.
Yeah,
of it.
like normally do.
And they were like, "Oh no, actually, this is really good, and we want to make it a proper movie." So,
the animation.
I'm sort of interested to see what Moana 2 is about. But I'm not going to go like to buy it. I'll wait till it comes to fucking Disney Plus. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I never watch like animation films like that unless I'm watching them with the kids.
You see, you're missing out.
I don't hate them.
You're
I normally
missing
enjoy
out.
them when I watch them, but it's like
There's-
I'm also, you know,
Yeah.
an adult.
There's some movies though that even though they're animations, they're not actually just like kids movies. Like WALL-E, for example. It's
That's still a
brilliant.
kids' film.
It's a brilliant movie.
I know it is. It's a
Like
brilliant film.
there's kids movies that are just kids movies, and there's kids movies that are also brilliant films.
Well, like the first 5 minutes of Up is like the saddest
That
film
is
ever.
that is so brilliantly done.
Uh,
Yeah,
Oh my god!
fantastic. Yeah,
It just end the film there.
Yeah.
Like, we're already done,
yeah. That
End it
was
here.
the biggest emotional roller coaster I ever. I ever
and the
needed.
quickest as well.
And the rest
like-
of the movie sort of doesn't even go into your head because that bit is so.
That's the
fucking
bit that stays in
traumatizing.
there. Yeah,
I can remember that there's a dog. I can remember that there's a bird.
weird bird thing.
I can
yeah.
remember that there's some kind of evil old guy. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I can remember from the rest of the
I
movie.
think it was the adventure that he liked originally,
Yeah.
or something,
I don't know. I don't know.
or I
It
don't
might
know.
have been. I think you're
I
right.
know
actually.
they
I
want.
think you're right.
or
And then
rather
there's
when they
he's got
first
a
get
dog as
there.
well, or something like that.
Oh yeah, when they first get there, I think they find a video of this young guy going there or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
and then it's
yeah.
him later on.
Yeah, that's it.
But he's
that's
a
it.
dick.
But like that's the thing. It's like
They went there because the woman that died wanted to go there.
they did such a good job in the first bit that they erased the rest of the movie from my mind.
It's so true, man. It's serious. I've seen it a few times, and it's a
Yeah.
bit that stays in my head.
Yeah.
I
That-
could watch that over and over. That bit.
I can't think of other movies that are like that. Really, that's the only one that's like that, like top heavy.
I think to that point, because that's it. Really, like 5 minutes like that. Like
Yeah.
if that whatever it is. I don't know. Unless there's one that's got a lot of boobs at the beginning, and it's kind of hard to think.
Swordfish has got the one with Haley with what's her face's boobs.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I'll say one contender. Scream. The original Scream.
Oh, with the phone call in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Mm.
legit. That is legit.
And because she was such a big actress at the time, Drew Barrymore,
Yeah.
nobody expected her to be
To be
killed like
killed
that.
straight away. Yeah,
She go,
yeah.
"Dup."
Even you used her on the fucking poster.
Yeah. It was
Like,
so smart how they did
yeah.
it, man. They made it look like she was the main character
Yeah,
because she was the biggest name in there.
yeah,
So it still made sense to do that.
yeah. And
So
everybody,
smart.
and they did all the sort of fucking camera right, not the trailer right, so that it seemed like she was.
Yeah, they
fucking
probably
genius.
had like that bit like
People don't do that shit anymore. People don't let the fucking twist be the twist anymore.
yeah.
They always tell you in the fucking trailer, and it
Yeah.
pisses me off.
You get the odd one where you don't, but then like it's so few and far between.
Yeah.
It makes you just not want to watch trailers anymore.
Most of them, they go, "This is the story, beat for beat until the end. Come watch it." It's like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck off.
The one good thing about Marvel is they proper hide their trailers,
Yeah,
their
they do,
films in their
yeah.
trailers. They go to annoying points to
Yeah, they actively create completely different CGI
false scenes, yeah,
to put the
complete
trailer out.
fake scenes
Yeah.
that cost a lot of money.
Yeah, they weren't cheap because they've got full on VFX.
Surely that doesn't need to happen now as much. So
I think they still do.
I'm sure they still do
Yeah.
it, but no one cares as much
No.
anymore.
Yeah, are you going to watch the new Captain America?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's called Brave New World because
Brave
it was
New World.
originally
Yeah.
called New World Order, but they
Yeah.
got a lot of
Yeah.
complaints about that, so
Yeah.
they changed it to Brave New World.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks alright. I still don't like Anthony Mack as Captain America or
Yeah.
whatever. I forgot his character's name.
Yeah, Sam something.
Sam, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
He needs a super soldier serum to be Captain America, as far as I'm concerned. That's the
Well, he's got a vibranium suit.
big whoop. He can be the new Iron Man
So
or Falcon
essentially,
like
he's
he
on the
was.
same sort of level of bit as T'Challa with wings.
He's got a vibranium suit.
Yeah.
Not his head though.
No.
You can shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
See, Rogers will be like, huh, your bullets do nothing for me.
Well, that's not true. He could die from bullet.
Yeah, but it'd be a good
Yeah.
bullet.
But he'd
And,
also-
and he'd just be like, huh,
Yeah, he just dodge it because he's a champion.
he's a Superman.
Yeah.
But,
He
Anthony Mack
held
can't do that.
Mjolnir. Do you think
Yeah,
Sam can
exactly.
hold Mjolnir?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I really don't think so.
I don't think he's worthy.
I don't think he's worried, but that's not a prerequisite for Captain America.
No.
But I mean, seeing Thingy as what's his name? I can't think of his fucking name now. Harrison Ford as
as-
Red Hulk.
Yeah.
That's I'm
pretty
down for that.
cool. That looks pretty cool.
And I've heard rumblings that Chris Evans might be coming back as Captain America.
Well, he might be coming back as Captain Hydra.
What to do now? But they've already done that though now with freaking
Yeah,
Robert
but
Downey Jr.
that's what they're saying might be happening is that Robert Downey Jr. might be the sort of the Doctor Doom, and then Doctor Doom's going to have a team of. I think the
evil
idea
versions.
was that it was going to be Lou Ferrigno as like Maestro Hulk, so like the old version of Hulk.
Yeah, but he's so old now.
Yeah, but he's old. Maestro Hulk is old.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's having like his voice and that,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah,
his
yeah,
CGI
yeah,
and it
yeah,
all
yeah.
about.
And then they'd have Scarlett Johansson back as Lady Hydra, and
I kind of like that
Chris
because
Evans
it makes
back as-
sense that people are like, oh, they're just going back to because they can't do without them faces, the old actors, and that too. Yes, apparently so.
Yeah.
But it also makes sense because that's what happens in the comics. All these other universes, they definitely could have their faces.
yeah. I love it as well. It's like, no, it's not comic book accurate. It's like, dude, like they've done completely off the comic books their entire time. This is a different universe entirely. You know that about Marvel. They have so many different multiple.
Yeah,
universes.
I like that. I like that
Yeah.
story.
Just let it
thing.
fucking be. And like
Yeah.
the thing is, like, I do want to catch up with it at some point, but there's just again,
Yeah,
there's so much.
But that's the good thing.
I
though.
should just jump back in on fucking.
They've designed it so you don't have
Yeah.
to catch up each time.
Yeah.
And if you really feel like you want to, there's so many YouTube videos that break everything you need to know. Like, as soon as a new one comes out, there's loads of videos come out saying everything you need to know before watching
So and so.
so.
Yeah.
So there's plenty on there. It's like the wrestling, like I said, don't bother watching all the other Raws, for example. Just watch the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Next Saturday, if you want to watch something, that's the one to watch.
That's the one to watch.
Fucking the Royal Rumble was
Mm.
fun, man. It's probably the best pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah.
It's pretty much agreed by everyone. 30. It's a match with 30 people in it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Every 90 seconds, another one runs in. It's stacked this year. The lineup, man. You got in the men's one. You got like Roman Reigns. You got John Cena. You got I can't remember now. Rey Mysterio. Why can't I think of them now? All the other biggies.
All of them.
All the biggies are in it.
All of them. Yeah.
There's over 102. I
Yeah.
can't fucking think
Yeah.
of any of them.
That's all right.
I don't know, but John Cena's in there.
Yeah.
That's
That's
cool,
what
yeah.
matters.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
in his last year run right now.
Yeah.
Going to try and win his record-breaking 17th world title.
Cool. Do you
Probably
think he will?
Probably will. He's got a year for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were saying we were going to go anyway.
That's true, we were. Right, so that's been Squishy Logic for this week.
Yeah. Check out more past episodes on the YouTube, Kd Comedy Podcast, or for the proper audio synced versions that come out each week, go on to Kd Comedy Podcast on Spotify, Spotify, Apple, Deezer, wherever you get your podcast from. It should be available on there. If
New
not,
episodes
their
every
fault, not mine.
Friday. Hi day.
Generally, yes. Still haven't
Yeah.
got the recent episode out yet, so
That's what I'm
I'll get that out. Yeah.
figuring. So until next time, stay squishy.
And always be logical.
Yeah.
And go on over to Post-Apocalyptic Metal Treehouse.
Yes, do that. I've completely forgot about that. Post-Apocalyptic Metal Treehouse available wherever you get your podcasts. Also check out YouTube. It's Dead Man Dancing.
Au revoir.
Bye bye.